unreachable.
I want them to know we're not leaving until the job is done.
President Biden says he'll visit the region once it's not disruptive. Former President Trump just arriving in Valdosta, Georgia, planning to meet with storm survivors. Israeli troops may be set to enter South Lebanon, continuing to target Hezbollah.
A senior U.S. official told our own Liz Frieden that a limited ground incursion by the IDF into South Lebanon is imminent. It will be smaller, we're told, than in 2006 and shorter in nature. Not wanting the fighting to escalate, President Biden called for a ceasefire and was adamant that he would not send more U.S. troops to the Middle East.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon, which had already confirmed hundreds of National Guard troops would deploy as part of normal troop rotations. But now they plan to send a few thousand troops to bolster security. The suspect in the second Trump assassination attempt pleads not guilty to additional charges, making a brief court appearance today as the U.S. Attorney General defends releasing a letter from Ryan Ruth and public court documents to help make the argument he should stay behind bars.
Now, this letter, authorities say, is in Ruth's hand. It states that he was attempting to assassinate the former president and includes an apology for failing to kill Trump while offering a $150,000 bounty for anyone who can finish the job. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan in Washington says releasing the letter could actually harm the former president by encouraging others to think they could potentially get paid by Ruth.
Fox's David Spunt. Ruth does remain in custody. No next court date set yet. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Enjoy this Monday afternoon. It's very pretty out there. Partly sunny skies, pretty close to 80 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, 63 for the low. On Tuesday, sunny skies, a little breezy Tuesday afternoon. Here comes a dry, cool front, 76 for the high. 49 Tuesday night, Wednesday, sunny at 74. Wednesday, the coolest of the week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
So let's talk about Michael's Flooring Outlet and how Michael's Flooring Outlet is there to make sure that you are covered in your flooring needs. Michael's has been serving the St. Louis area for 3 decades. Michael's understands how you work hard for your money, but you want to walk on beautiful flooring that's going to stand the test of time. They get all of that, and they have been serving customers and delivering that for years upon years in St. Louis. So we're inviting you to be the next customers that are satisfied. If you want to check out some of the details that I'm talking about here, if you want to research for yourself how prior customers of Michael's Flooring Outlet have felt about their experience, you can go to igotfloor.com, and right there on the website, you're going to see very easily a whole list of reviews of people who had the job done right the first time, who went through the process of installing flooring, and in the process, Michael's made sure everything was right or corrected through the whole process. You can trust the family-owned and operated business at Michael's Flooring Outlet, and you can learn more about them at igotfloor.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, October 1st at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned how this coming election can affect the stock market and your retirement? Would you like to have a personalized structured income plan that shows you the monthly income you can receive and how to never outlive it?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss the last event of the year. Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, October 1st at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Mark Cox here. Did you know the Rockwood School District is a great place to work? They're currently hiring school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodial staff. They have openings in Adventure Club, which is before and after school care. They offer competitive pay, flexible work hours, and a rewarding work environment. Discover the Rockwood Advantage and join an amazing team. Go to rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I also want you to know, I'm committed to traveling to the impacted areas as soon as possible, but I've been told that it would be disruptive if I did it right now. We will not do that at the risk of diverting or delaying any of the response assets needed to deal with this crisis. My first responsibility is to get all the help needed to those impacted areas, and I expect to be there later this week. I and my team are in constant contact with the governors, mayors, and local leaders.
So Joe Biden spoke, I would say about 90 minutes ago, maybe, on the impact of Hurricane Helene. It's ravaged the east coast of our country. It's been very sad to see the results that this hurricane has left. Its thumbprint on our country, and it's tragic and it's sad. And, we spend time worrying about things. We spend time discussing things. And then in an instant, Mother Nature can come remind you of everything that is important. I was listening to Harris Faulkner covering this, and she was talking to, I think it was maybe a sheriff that was in North Carolina a little bit earlier today on her show. And she asked him, what's the worst part about all of this? And the man answered, it's the unknown. And they're talking about, I think they said 600 missing people. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they just can't contact each other. They have no way to communicate. So of all the problems that we are facing in our day today, of all of the struggles that we have, frustrations, anger that we might have for any particular situation, think about not being able to contact your loved ones and know that they're fine. And they're on the other side thinking about contacting you and knowing that you're fine. That's what those people are dealing with right now all across the East Coast, and they deserve our unceasing prayers. Joe Biden speaking from the White House, he was struggling very badly when he was talking, and he even mentioned during his speech that he had a cold. He's the one who said that. Some speculation on how well President Biden actually is right now. He said that he has a cold and is sick, so he was seemed very parched while he was talking and was coughing quite a bit. And hopefully he is well soon also. At the end of that conversation that he had with the press, got a couple questions off about the situation in the Middle East as well, and we'll double back to that in a little bit. One of the things that Joe Biden said there was that for him to go visit, people will say, why isn't the president in the hurricane-ravaged area of the country right now? He should be there. He should show up. The president does highlight that it is a massive endeavor to move the president anywhere. Everything shuts down around him. They have to secure locations, and it becomes a big hindrance. I am going to say along with Joe Biden, the president does not need, in this moment in time, to be there in flesh in order to effectively help the people in the way that they need help. And I think it's an easy talking point to suggest somehow or another that he should be down there, that he should be present. I don't think that realistically speaking, we live in a world where Joe Biden is going to go to hurricane-ravaged Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, any of these areas and actually make the situation better for anyone. What he can do is make sure that they are fully funded in their recovery effort. He was asked some questions at the side of I think he was getting on Air Force One possibly, and asked if there was going to be more funding spent. He basically said, no, I've sent everything we're going to send. I don't think he understood the question. I think he might have thought that they were talking about Ukraine or something. It was a very bizarre situation, and we'll play that for you here in a little bit as well. I really want to highlight, this is a complicated needle to thread because the president is speaking from the White House, talking about the things that need to be done. And he's articulating that he can't go there because it's too complicated to just the maneuver to get him there is complicated. I want people to understand that that's the truth. That I don't think that he spent the weekend on the beach. You know, maybe what you do is you don't spend the weekend on the beach while people are being ravaged by a hurricane. I think that that's a little bit of a smarter political decision. I remember hearing, I think it was when I read Dana Perino's book, who worked in the George W. Bush administration, said that George W. Bush spent all of his Christmases at the White House. Like Christmas Day was at the White House because if he was at the White House, he didn't require the same type of security. Should he go to Camp David, should he go home to Texas or whatever, that he stayed put so that all of the other people who were needed wouldn't have to leave their families on that specific holiday, so it would be the least disruptive. And I always thought that that was such a kind thing for him to do and a simple thing for him to do so that people could enjoy that time with family. But being aware of the movement of the President of the United States and what it takes to facilitate that is an important thing to do. Now, Donald Trump just spoke from Georgia, I believe. And so you've got the President of the United States speaking from the White House on the issue, but you've got the man who's campaigning to become the president of the United States in Georgia. And you're saying, Annie, if bringing all these people in here, if moving somebody of that stature into the system is disruptive, then Donald Trump shouldn't be there, right? Well, no, I don't agree with that, because what Donald Trump can do when he's not serving as the president of the United States, yes, he needs the security team that now he has Secret Service at the level of the president of the United States. Moving the president of the United States is still going to be a different situation than moving a candidate for the president of the United States. The security might be the same, but there's more to it when you're moving the guy who's the actual president of the United States. So I think it's wise for Donald Trump to find a way to go be at this place and bring attention to it, depending on how he handles that situation. I also think it would be wise for Kamala Harris to find herself in a position where she doesn't have to be standing waist deep in floodwaters in order to bring attention to it. The meteorologists have that covered. She could go be somewhere at a place that is providing aid, that is sending donation. If there's a Red Cross location somewhere that's not in hurricane-ravaged Georgia, probably not going to go to Florida, maybe go to North Carolina is probably where you'd find her most. It still makes sense politically to see those members or those individuals who are trying to become the president of the United States to go be present, to acknowledge the issue, and to use their presence for good, not just for politics. So Donald Trump was speaking just in Georgia, it was probably about 30 minutes ago. So let's listen in and see what he had to say with his visit.
The federal government is not being responsive, but they're having a very hard time getting the president on the phone. He won't get on, and of course the vice president, she's out someplace campaigning, looking for money. So they have to be focused over here. This is a really bad one, and the governor's doing a good job, but he's having a hard time getting the president on the phone. They're being very non-responsive. We're also going to be we're talking with North Carolina. We're trying to get them hooked up with communication. They're totally closed right now. North Carolina has really been hit hard. Really, really been hit hard. The hardest. And we can't even get in there right now. And there are a lot of people that have been injured or worse. Very bad. North Carolina. We're working with the people in North Carolina now to get them hooked up for communication. And in the meantime, we're at Valdosta, and we're with the mayor and congressman and everybody else. We've brought a lot of supplies. We're with Franklin Graham, who's been always fantastic in these cases. Nobody better. He does with Samaritan's Purse. He's done an unbelievable job. And how is it going, Greg? So Franklin needs a lot of volunteers, and I know he'll get them. He's done an incredible job in these instances, and this looks like a bad one, really, compared to the worst we've seen in years. The worst we've seen in years. So if anybody, maybe you can get that word out, the media can get the word out. He needs volunteers as quickly as possible.
And have you reached out to President Biden about federal relief efforts?
No, I haven't reached out to him. No, I think he's sleeping right now, actually.
And looking ahead to tomorrow night, what's the biggest goal for J.D. Vance at the debate?
I think J.D. is going to do great. He's a very smart guy. He's done a great job. People like him a lot. He's against Tampon Tim, I think, who I don't think should have ever been chosen. He's not qualified. But J.D.'s a very smart guy, as everybody knows. I think he's going to do great.
Did you offer him any personal advice?
No, he doesn't need it. I will. But we've been speaking a little bit back and forth. I think he's in good shape. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much.
So you have former President Trump speaking from Valdosta, Georgia, and he's making a quick hit there with the media, and he's standing next to Franklin Graham, who works with Samaritan's Purse. Here's a few things that I love about this instance. It's a quick hit. The media gets to ask what the media wants to ask. The conversation that you heard with Donald Trump was driven by whatever the reporters wanted to ask Donald Trump. You've got Donald Trump in front of you. This is your opportunity to ask your question. What are you going to ask? And he says, I'll answer whatever you throw at me. He has no problem doing that. He's standing there next to Franklin Graham, and, that's a non-for-profit organization. Samaritan's Purse does a lot of really great work and is using human volunteers and taking donations to deliver aid immediately to the people who need it. Listen, folks, here's a perfect example of communities and people just like you sending money to where it's going to go directly to the problem. President Trump, former President Trump, potentially the next President Trump, is standing there showing you how you don't need to have the federal government be the be-all, end-all solution to the problem. Now, do we collectively pay taxes so that in a state of great emergency, like a ravaging hurricane, we come together and we fund the recovery for that? I think that we do. I don't have a problem with that. If we had massive devastation here, for instance, like the Amazon tornado that came and ripped apart a good portion of our area here, you're going to get some taxpayer dollars to recover from that. And I think that that is a good thing. But it's not the only thing, and it shouldn't be the thing that conservatives prioritize. The conversation, the talk around how we help one another, the idea that the government is the first but only solution, that's the difference between the left and the right. The idea, think about this for a second. Imagine if government funds was the only thing that could help these people. You'd have to wait for Congress to convene to approve the extra funding that needs to be approved. You'd have to wait for the bickering to go back and forth in order for the funding and the relief to show up. The Red Cross, the Samaritan's Purse, these are organizations where people come together to help people who need that help and to do it without having to go through the laundry machine that is the government. It's a really interesting dichotomy between these two speeches today, these two press avails today between the president of the United States, Joe Biden, who isn't running for president again. So what he's doing there when he's speaking from the White House isn't really a political maneuver. I think that he was speaking as the president, and I think he was where he should be. And you have Donald Trump, who's vying to earn the votes of the people in this country, and he's there bringing the people who can directly help, which is not representative of the federal government. Now, two criticisms, one from each different politician. Joe Biden, standing in front of the press, which he never does, gets asked a couple of questions at the end about things that are going in the Middle East. He stumbles through his response to what's going on with Iran. He pushes back and says a ceasefire now. That's like, I got to think that the people in the Department of Defense are going, ooh, don't say anything else. So he kind of wanders off because he doesn't look well. He doesn't sound well. I don't think he is well. As soon as they start asking questions about something else, he bolts. I have a problem with that. Answer the questions of the press. It's unfortunate that they have to use a hurricane relief effort press conference to ask you about avoiding World War III. But you don't give us any other options. If you're not capable of doing the job, get out of it. Make Kamala Harris be the president right now if she's so great. If Kamala Harris is capable of being the president of the United States right now, and you are incapable of doing your job, why is she not in office right now? Answer that question. I don't understand it. And then, of course, if you go to Donald Trump, the minor criticism I have is that he can't avoid the opportunity to say tampon Tim, because everything else about this was glorious. Everything else about his visit to bring aid and help to the people in this hurricane-ravaged area, everything else about it was beautiful. It flies in the face of what the doubters think about Donald Trump. I don't dislike it. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I appreciate Donald Trump for who he is, and I know that I'm not going to manifest this fantastical version of a man who isn't going to turn into that. He's capable of doing the job. He's willing to show up, and he's willing to focus on solutions. I appreciate it. But of course, Donald Trump, gonna Donald Trump. Anyway, I think it's possible that two things can be true at one time. The president should be in the White House until it is not disruptive for him to show up at the damage site, and a candidate can show up and bring help and show what he would do in that time of trouble. Let's take a quick break. Joe Concha is going to talk to us about the debate tomorrow night. The vice presidential debate is taking place, and we are excited for it. YouTube live chat poll for today. Who's the weirdest candidate running? Now, you know the whole J.D. Vance's weird thing, that started with Tim Walz before Tim Walz was the VP candidate for Kamala Harris. So we thought, well, who is the weirdest person running? Is it J.D. Vance? Is it Donald Trump? Kamala Harris or Tim Walz? Annie Fry YouTube channel. Come say hi, vote, leave a comment. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Started to dance in my arms, she felt so inviting. And I just couldn't resist her, just a little kiss, so exciting.
Stewart's American Mortgage, the bagel loan guys waiting for your phone call. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie wants to hook you up with a bagel loan. Now, bagel loan, that's called a bagel loan because bagels look like zeros, which means you pay zero in closing costs to get your refinance done or to acquire the new mortgage. Rates have come down quite a bit. You might be looking at a refinance. If you've gotten a mortgage since 2022, Stewie needs to have a text from you or a phone call so you can get that right. 314-324-4440. If you are looking to buy a home, since rates have come down a tick, you very much so are probably thinking about getting out there and making the move, maybe listing your house as well. Make sure that you have the best possible situation set up for your new mortgage. It starts with the phone call or the text message to Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you're thinking of getting new hardwood, carpet, laminate, or vinyl flooring at one of those big box or discount stores, put it on hold. As in Reinhold. Reinhold Flooring, covering St. Louis and beyond since 1988. Residential or builder, you'll find everything you need in our showroom on Telegraph. When it comes to investing in your home, you want the best in carpet, laminate, vinyl flooring, or area rugs. Put those others on hold with Reinhold Flooring. Stop by Telegraph Road or learn more at reinholdflooring.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
Oh, what you know, Joe?
I don't know nothing.
I think Walz is probably nervous. I do think that that J.D. Vance is not nervous and is pretty confident in whether or not he does what David says he does or predicts what he does. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. But I do think that he is the most to lose.
Oh, what you know, Joe?
Joe Concha, Fox News contributor.
So we've got Joe Concha back on the line with us, and we're excited to have you back. Joe, I am more excited for this debate from an entertainment level coming up between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, I think, than I was for the presidential debate.
So I'm looking at this as somebody who is looking at a prize fight. And I see that Tim Walz has not done one solo interview nationally, has barely done any interviews. You know, the tough football coach, his handlers are more petrified to put him out there than Kamala Harris, which says a lot, right? So he's going to go into this without taking one remotely tough question. And he's going against a guy who graduated Ohio State in 2.5 years. Right, and it's only led by Yale Review. I watched Vance's his debates versus Tim Ryan, who's a pretty formidable debater in his own right. He's a pretty good candidate. He's just, was trying to be senator of the wrong state. And Vance was excellent. He was so prepared for everything that Ryan was going to throw at him and had the perfect responses. He's measured, he's confident, and cool. And Tim Walz is this goofy 80s sitcom dad. You see the way he goes on the stage, he's waving his arms and everything. That's basically it. That's all you get with this guy. So I wonder now, this is the last time, Annie, that we're going to see a major event in this particular, barring something catastrophic, but you know what I mean, like scheduled event on television, right? And this is the last time we're going to see a contrast between these two tickets. And if the final shot is Tim Walz versus J.D. Vance, I think, and I'm not being overconfident here. I know the bar is low, maybe for Walz. I don't think there is any bar. I don't think anybody knows who this guy really is.
True.
I think Vance it's Mike Tyson, Michael Spinks, 88. I mean, it's going to be a knockout, and they're going to send this campaign reeling, and I think it already is reeling based on the polling I'm seeing lately.
I keep going back to the word weird, and our poll for today, we do a YouTube poll every day with our show, and it's who's the weirdest candidate running, Vance, Trump, Harris, or Walz. And it's important for people to remember that Walz was the originator, as my understanding, of the label of weird towards J.D. Vance before Walz was even part of this race. And I think J.D. Vance is the most genuine, relatable dude that's been in politics in quite some time. And as we've gotten to know incrementally a little bit about Tim Walz, weird is the best word to describe whatever it is that is going on there.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that clip last week, which was hilarious. He goes, "We're not going to take 4 more years of this." Oh, no, we're not, are we? Because that's the Kamala Harris last 4 years, right, Tim? Yeah. Any guy, I got an elementary school son, 3rd grade, and Tim Walz actually signed a law putting tampons in his boys' room. His, of course, I'm in New Jersey, but if I lived in Minnesota, that's something I'd have to explain to my kids. So that, I would say, is weird. Thinking men can get pregnant, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's weird. Letting Minneapolis burn to the ground in 2020 and not send in the National Guard, which you were a part of at one point until you ditched them when they actually got sent to a war zone, that's weird and it's reckless at the same time. So when you look at the issues, and they're all on the side of J.D. Vance tomorrow night, as far as economy, as far as immigration, as far as foreign policy, as far as crime. Hopefully those things are actually broached and we don't have CBS doing their best ABC imitation. Good news on that front, by the way. CBS announced today that they will not be fact-checking during this debate.
Good.
And that's such a great idea. We saw what ABC did. 11 fact-checks and follow-up questions for Donald Trump, 0 for Kamala Harris. They're going to stay out of this. So that's partly the good news. I just hope that we're not inundated with questions about, oh boy, we get one question on the economy like ABC did, which was an atrocity, and then, we're going to go right to January 6th. We're going to go right to Donald Trump said that he won't accept the vote if blah, blah, blah. I hope they stick to the issues. If they do, it's going to be a long night for Tim Walz.
CNN followed that model when they did the Trump-Biden one. They asked the questions. They didn't. And I mean, we saw what happened there. The fact-checking thing is an interesting thing in an actual live debate because what we have seen, I don't know, you would probably have a better timeline on this than I would, but the media has completely taken over the process of thinking for the American people. In fact, the media wants you to do the least amount of thinking possible. They will spoonful of sugar what you need to know into your mouth, and you will take it with a smile on your face. But the lack of fact-checking, people say, well, how is that journalism? This is a debate. You're not putting together a journalistic research package. Fact-check the hell out of it after the debate is over, if you so choose. But in the midst of the debate, letting the candidates speak for themselves. And for me, as a voter, if they want to lie through their teeth and put it out there and it comes back with a fact check later, I'm interested to know how much they think they can sell those lies to me. But trying to carry the water for one candidate versus the other, I do feel like ABC kind of, they got a little bit of a backlash for choosing to go the opposite way of CBS here and CNN originally.
Yeah, they became the story after that debate. It was about, Donald Trump missed opportunities and Kamala Harris lie after lie, and the fact that she just seems so scripted and staged. I think J.D. Vance is smart enough to know to basically play chess here instead of checkers. And what I mean by that is that Tim Walz is going to say that, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance want a federal ban on abortion. Now, they've come out 100% against that. I know J.D. Vance knows that he's going to say that, and I know he's going to be ready with the response. Or when Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump wants to ban all IVF, fertilization treatments, and Trump has actually come out and said that he not only supports that, but he would actually put U.S. taxpayer dollars towards helping people use that particular method. Boy, she just lied about so many things that night about Project 2025. That's certainly going to come up. You guys support that? No, they've completely denounced it. J.D. Vance is going to be ready with those fact checks, and the fact that CBS is not going to jump in here, that's great, because we saw with Candy Crowley back in 2012. She fact checked Mitt Romney, and turned out later she said, "Well, actually, Romney was right in the mean," or whatever she said.
So bad.
Like after the fact, but it didn't matter because you felt like the air come out of that room. That's a good thing. And then what ABC did, it's just so horrible. So I think in the end, this is going to be something that's going to have a lot more weight than your average vice presidential debate, because again, no one knows who this Tim Walz guy is, but I think they're going to find out tomorrow night. And one has stolen valor and one doesn't.
Yeah.
That's all I know about the two military people we're going to see up there on that stage.
Joe Concha with us right now, Fox News contributor. What would you want to see? I think that the Hitler comparison that is going to be thrown at J.D. Vance when he went back and, the things that he said about Donald Trump before he knew who Donald Trump really was, I think it's a huge opportunity for J.D. Vance. If that question, I would assume that will probably come from an insult lobbed at him from Walz at some point. What do you want to hear from J.D. Vance should he have the opportunity to answer to that in front of the American people?
I've heard this answer, I think, already, because he has been asked about this, because the guy actually does interviews, actually does press conferences, and he was asked about that. He said, yeah, and then I got to know Donald Trump. I said that before he was elected. Then I saw the way he governed. I liked what I saw. Then I got to know him as a person, and it couldn't be any further from the truth. I was relying, whoever he's answering to, Mr. Walz, on media accounts of Donald Trump and things that were being said about him. And maybe I echoed that at the time without truly being informed and not seeing what a Trump presidency would be like. I saw it, and I want to see it again, because this presidency has been a disaster.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
I could do this.
You should. You'd have our support here from the Annie Fry Show. And then I wanted to ask you about the comparison of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They're so manufactured. They're so guarded and protected and insulated from the real world. And every time Kamala Harris, which is not terribly frequently, but we've seen a little bit more of her in some more regional interviews lately, every time she has the opportunity to come out and kind of prove the people wrong that she is thinking on her feet or thinking at all, that she can handle the pressures of that type of a situation, she actually kind of doubles down on who America is kind of growing to know her to be. Do you feel like Tim Walz is going to have policy points to talk about tonight, or is it going to be much like Kamala Harris's debate performance where it was really just trying to get Donald Trump off his game? I don't know if you can do the same to Vance.
No, he'll see it coming, right? And plus, Vance, I don't think would take debate on like some sort of shot about crowd size, for instance, right? I just don't see that. No, it's going to be a lot about ambitions and aspirations and dreams, right? A bunch of like a stream of consciousness and a bunch of bumper stickers signifying nothing, right? I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is a Seinfeld candidacy. It is a show about nothing. Like, we're not actually getting any beer. It's all foam. It's all frosting, no cake. All sizzle, no steak. I could go through all the analogies, but that's what this campaign is built on, and people are getting sick of it at this point. And again, I'll go back to what Kamala Harris did during that interview with who was it? MSNBC and Stephanie Ruhle last week. Which talk about a hot stone massage of an interview. I mean, my goodness, some okay questions were asked, but again, not one follow-up, not one fact check. At one point, Kamala Harris said the word holistically 3 times in 14 seconds, which is really hard to do. So the CPU was just broken, like rather, then rinse, repeat, lather, rinse, repeat.
Control-Alt-Delete.
Seriously.
Yeah.
She paid her fair share. I went back and did the counts on this. And even after that interview, the New York Times said, she's not really good in these situations, and then maybe she shouldn't do these interviews as often. It's great to the press actually recommend a presidential candidate from last year. Here we are. The New York Times endorsed Kamala Harris today, but they endorsed Carter twice, Mondale and Dukakis in succession. I mean, that is really – they really had the pulse of the people during those elections, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
You love John Kerry.
Last question, Joe Concha, because I know you know about these things. Big Georgia-Alabama football game this weekend. Donald Trump showed up, and from what I understand, there wasn't much or if any coverage during the actual game broadcast, but there's a lot of stuff on social media of the reception he got there. Tim Walz attended the Michigan-Minnesota game in Michigan. What did you think about those choices to visit those places and the reception that they got?
Alexa, what a stark contrast. Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Never say anything like it. All right, first of all, like all these media outlets, like Kamala Harris is going to do an epic troll by flying a banner over the Alabama-Georgia game saying Donald Trump is afraid to debate, and then the plane never got off the ground.
Really?
Isn't that hilarious? Yeah. I heard a lot about the banner. I'm like, where's the picture of the banner? And then this small like news. Oh, by the way, the plane never actually got off the ground. So great job there. Yeah, look, it was about 100,000 people at that game, and what a game! My goodness gracious! And you would think that all 100,000 were cheering for Trump. I get it's Alabama. I get it's a red state, but optically, at least on social media, I mean, it looks awesome, right? And then you have Tim Walz going to Michigan and getting booed. Now, look, I get it. He's from Minnesota. It was at Michigan. It was at the Big House. But still, I mean, not exactly a warm reception at all. And that's just the contrast here. That's why I think that this election, I keep going back to this, Annie, and I can't get away from it. You have Pennsylvania, and the Teamsters support Donald Trump, rank and file, like a 2-1 margin. The steelworkers support Donald Trump. United Auto Workers support Donald Trump. That's Michigan. Restaurant workers, those unions, they support Trump. That's Nevada. If you ever told me like 10 years ago that the Democratic presidential nominee wouldn't have the backing of rank and file members of the largest unions in the country and expected to win, I'd be like, no, it's impossible. But that's where we're at this point. So I think that decides it. I really do. She doesn't have the core. She doesn't have blacks. She doesn't have Hispanics in the numbers remotely that Biden had, and certainly not what Obama had, or even Hillary for that matter. So if they only won by a little margin last time out, and those margins have been completely erased and then some, I just don't know where the votes come for her outside of, like, I don't know, single women. I don't. I'm sorry.
What, childless cat ladies? That's
I'm just saying it, but yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you'd said that 10 years ago, I'd be like, what happens between then and now to make that be the case? And we know that story. We've seen government go crazy, expand in the last 10 years, and people don't like it. Joe Concha, thank you. We always love your insight. We can't wait to watch this debate. We'll get your feedback after it.
Thanks, Annie. Appreciate it.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye. Joe Concha, a Fox News contributor, also author of the book Progressively Worse, Why Today's Democrats Ain't Your Daddy's Donkeys. That's what he was talking about there. He literally wrote the book on the shift of Democrats and how they have left the party that left them. And, you know, some of them feel politically homeless right now, but you heard it from Joe Concha right there. A lot of these union members, these working class people, realize that the Democrat Party that used to stand for them, it does not any longer. The Republican Party it offers them something, some representation, some acknowledgement even. And the polling is starting to show that, but the only poll that matters is that November 5th poll. So go get Joe Concha's book, Why Today's Democrats Ain't Your Daddy's Donkeys. It's available now. It's a good read. Joe Concha is wonderfully smart and also very funny, so check it out. Okay, quick break. When we come back, the Monday Roundup with Ryan Wiggins and Wiggins America. So you're going to stick around for the wildest ride in the wilderness, at least on the radio. Wiggins America, next.
Well, I don't know Latin. What you know, Joe?
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and Wagoneer, CassinsCan.com, CassinsCan.com. Now, I have a September promotion that I'm supposed to tell you about, but I also want you to remember that today is the last day of September. How is that even possible? It is. It's real. It's September 30th. So if you're interested in this, I want to make sure that you get the phone number here at the end. I will give it to you multiple times so you can jot it down or type it into your phone so that you can try to snag this deal because it's an amazing deal. 0% financing available on most new Jeeps at Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer. If you're interested in purchasing a new Jeep, my family, we have a Jeep Grand Cherokee from Cassins. Love it. Love driving it. Accommodates our family just like we need. It's a great complement to the Chrysler Pacifica that we also drive from Cassins & Sons. Go to CassinsCan.com for details on this great promotion. It's a September promotion. Will they extend it? I have no idea. But for right now, it ends after today. So you need to reach out to this number if you're interested in 0% financing available on most new Jeeps. 618-800-2712. 618-800-2712. One more time, 618-800-2712. Online at CassinsCan.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Did you know you can unlock the equity from your current home and stay in it while you find your next home or while your new home's being built? Mark Cox here for my friend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. She can do that for you. Here's a problem many home sellers find themselves in. I want to sell my home, but where will I move? Plus, I need the funds from my current home to go purchase our next home. Gloria understands this. That's why she created her Sell and Stay program, which allows you to sell your home, get the cash, and stay in the home for up to 12 months. I love Gloria Liu because she thinks of every dilemma a home seller could go through and provides a guaranteed solution. If you need the cash from your current home to buy your next home, here's my recommendation. Call the only agent I trust, Gloria Liu, and ask her about her Sell and Stay program, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
When you bought your home, you took on more than just a house payment. You spend weekends on upkeep. Repairs drain your bank account. And with your equity locked up, you can't do anything. You love your home and want to stay, but it's a constant struggle. What if you could sell your home, reclaim your weekends, and not have to move? You can with TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. TrueHold will buy your home now while the market is high. You can bank all that equity in cash and stay in your home with a lease. Plus, you won't have to worry about property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Join thousands that have secured their retirement, paid off bills, and financed their dreams. Get an offer now while the market is hot. Call 1-855-300-9993. That number again is 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com. Don't wait. Call now. 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, who's the weirdest candidate running? Is it J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, or Tim Walz? Love to know what you think about today's Monday YouTube live chat poll. Type in Annie Fry when you go to YouTube, and the Annie Fry page will come up. You click on that. You'll see not only the live stream with the poll there, too. It is 12:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here. Not because of a label, but because conservative ideas actually work. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath. Long about a Saturday night. Yeah. Rubbed up, just relaxing in the tub. Thinking everything was alright. Well, I stepped out the tub and put my feet on the floor. I wrapped the towel around me and I opened the door. And then a splish splash, I jumped back in the bath. Well,
this is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Moving and a grooving, rocking and a rolling. Yeah.
Wiggins. Oh! Monday Roundup. Yeah! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
It is September 30th, ladies and gentlemen, and this week, October starts. It does not feel like October, does it? It feels like it should be a little cooler than this.
It's September.
I know, but we're almost there, and it's like going to be 80 degrees tomorrow. Something feels a little wrong with that. Anyway, this is the Monday Roundup. I'm just sort of, priming the pump for the week ahead. This is what happened over the weekend. The most important of
According
the non-headline stories.
This isn't all that happened.
This isn't everything
But
that
it's the fun
happens,
stuff.
but it's the stuff that you may off your radar a little bit, but I think that you should know about. Number one is that M&Ms are making a brand new flavor.
And that's the candy?
M&Ms, yeah.
Okay.
The candy, Mars. They are making a brand new flavor of M&Ms, the first flavor, and a permanent flavor. I gotta stipulate here. They
Until
come out
it
with a
doesn't
lot
sell.
of seasonal flavors, but they have 10 permanent flavors.
When you say flavor, you're talking about something other than chocolate?
Yes. And when I say the flavors, you're going to go, oh, yeah, that's what that is. So the main ones are, of course, peanut and plain.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I don't like peanut.
Peanut's my favorite.
No. Plain M&Ms are delightful, but never prioritized.
No, you never pick them.
No.
But when they're there,
You're like, these are delicious.
have a handful of M&Ms. Why not? Peanut is number 2, and then peanut butter.
Duh.
Peanut butter's fantastic.
It's the best. We I think, where did we do? You were on the show when we did the M&M poll, weren't you? Or that was before you?
No, I was. We've had this discussion.
I'm pretty sure it was before you. I think Tony Colombo was on the show when we did that.
Yeah, but I think I was also on the show. It was
Oh,
while
okay.
me and Tony crossed.
Okay. Yeah, like ships in the night.
Yeah.
We did this, and it was like, it became a thing. People who've been listening for a really long time would comment, would know this, but people would come to us in, like, we'd go to Hardee's for Rise and Shine, and they'd be like, peanut M&Ms, and we'd be like, peanut butter.
It's like donuts and bagels now.
Yes.
We have that discussion with multiple people.
Maybe it's a Friday poll.
I'm not opposed to that.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, me too.
Because Ryan and I, as usual, are in lockstep agreement. I can't even say it out
Yeah,
loud.
this
I can't
never
even.
happens.
We were agreeing, and I was like, I can't get words.
Ryan
Peanut
and I
butter.
agree.
Yeah.
It's because of
I'm
peanut
starting
butter
to itch.
M&Ms.
Do I have a rash right here? Is this getting blotchy?
But since I wanted to get through the big 3, so plain, peanut, and peanut butter are the big 3. The new one, peanut butter and jelly. People are saying that the peanut butter is good, but the jelly doesn't quite pop enough. I haven't tried them myself yet.
Are they out?
Apparently they're kind of making their way around the country now.
That would have really made this segment.
It would have, but I
Makes
haven't
sense.
been able to find any yet. The other flavors that you will commonly see, almond, caramel's fantastic.
Almond is good. Caramel is good.
Yeah.
Pretzel.
I like them.
Well, they used to make crispy M&Ms.
Yeah.
I liked those.
Those are gone.
Those were my favorite when they were out.
Yeah.
And that was in like high school. In high school, in like the early 2000s. I graduated in 2002, and I just remember like that would be lunch for me sometimes.
Oh,
was
yeah?
A package of crispy M&Ms from the vending machine.
I didn't dislike crispy M&Ms, but it was the same. Like, I'm in a bowl, I'll eat some. I'm never going to pick them, though.
Pretzel's good.
Pretzel's good. What about dark chocolate?
I wouldn't mind it. I don't know if I've ever had them.
I don't know that I've had them.
I don't think I've had them on purpose. It just doesn't sound good to me. Crunchy cookie.
Had those. Those are good.
Fudge brownie.
Had that, too.
And the last one they released before this new one was caramel cold brew.
I have had that.
I haven't had
that one's
one at
actually
all.
pretty good if you like coffee.
They said they were reaching out to Gen Z with caramel cold brew.
I like how it's outreach.
Yeah, it's a mission statement.
What do the kids these days want? Candy. They
They're
want
like-
candy. They want more affordable candy. Vote for Donald Trump.
There we go. So there you go. That's the new flavors should be hitting shelves soon. Let us know the minute you try them. Log on to the YouTube page and let us know what you think because I want to know. The next one is a man tried to cremate his dog out in Colorado and has started a massive, massive wildfire. 7,200 acres have burned so far, and they have traced this back to a guy named Brent Scott Garber, 63 years old, on September 5th. He went out to a rural area. It doesn't say whether it's his property or not. It was just some property. He tried to cremate his dog, and when he was done, he was sad, and he threw the spray can into the fire, and it shot out and lit a tree on fire.
Oh, no.
And started this massive wildfire. The problem is he seems to have known that he did it and then didn't do anything about it because it got out of control. And then they found him and said, this looks like it started right by you. And he's like, yeah, I think I did it.
That's the saddest story I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it terrible? No motivation as to why he wouldn't have said anything. I mean, we don't know if there was.
Because he was scared.
He was probably scared. He also did say that he was mad at the government because they told him, the local government told him he had to do something about his dog because it had bitten another dog.
Oh, no.
So he went out.
I can't take any more of the story.
It's tough, isn't it? I just want to read
So did he have to put the dog down?
So he did have to put the dog down, and he went out and was cremating it, which is what started the fire. They traced this back to this little, it's not quite a cave, but it was like a little bit of an overhanging of a rock where he was doing it, and they found a sign that said October 2017 to July 2024, Rocket Dog, rest in peace, buddy. Oh, no. Glued, isn't that sad?
Oh, man.
Glued right nearby, and that was where the fire had started, was right there. Have you ever had to put a pet down?
Yeah.
Have you? I have too.
Not myself.
I've had to twice. Man.
Although I grew up on a farm where pets were put down by their owner. That's the way that you do it. Mm-hmm. And it's terribly sad.
Yeah, it's terrible. Let's see here. Here's a strange one to end on, but a customer called Delta and realized on the wait that the person who had answered the phone was his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, no.
He calls Delta.
So he calls Delta. He's trying to just get some flight change or something like that. And he did the thing where it says, if you want Delta to call you back, press 1. You press 1, wait. So the call back was from Delta, but it was his ex-girlfriend. And they realized it pretty quick. And the guy said the issue was unspecified, but the other voice was very familiar. They started talking. She confirmed some details about me and my trip, and then in a sarcastic voice said, "Wow, first class with the wife and baby, huh? Pretty fancy."
Oh, no.
And he goes, yeah, so they didn't really catch up a whole lot because she sounded a little bitter, maybe a little jealous, not sure. So the issue remains unresolved.
I think the issue is resolved. I think that the resolution seems like it worked out well for him.
Yeah, like he's doing okay. She may not be doing as okay.
When you see you've got to call someone back, they have to know the name of the person on the account.
Maybe.
You always confirm details. Every time I've called Southwest, I always have to confirm details, but you can do that have them call you back thing. You've put in information at that point.
Yeah, but is the caller on the other end looking to see the name ahead of time? Or are they just hitting next? And that brings it up. But you're not looking ahead to see who's going to be on the phone.
If I was, unless you are on good terms or whatever, I'm seeing my ex's name and going, I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah.
I would think.
Sit and wait for another minute. Somebody else gets it.
Oh, man. Stick around in the next hour at 1:45. We're going to work on connecting with Steve Moore on the economy. We're going to talk about the port strike that might be happening and what that's going to do to the economy. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. If you haven't yet, reach out to them for your HVAC repairs at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Air Comfort Service is going to walk you through everything that you need in the event that they come out to your house. If they come out to your commercial business, they will do that absolutely as well. And they give you options on what you're going to need to do with the repair or the replacement. If you're you're looking at a steep repair bill or questioning the quoted repair that you have already gotten, reach out to Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091 and get a free second opinion on a heat exchanger or compressor repair. Air Comfort Service has provided residential and commercial heating and cooling services for 55 years. You can trust their longevity. You can trust the reviews. Read them online. You can trust myself as a multiple-time customer of Air Comfort Service. They are there for you. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Water to the rooftops in parts of North Carolina. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
We're still in crisis mode where I would not say we've begun recovery.
The mayor of Asheville, North Carolina, Esther Mannheimer, telling Fox News state and federal resources are being sent, but the devastation from Hurricane Helene is historic, with some areas isolated by flooding and other damage.
There are roads washed out and no communications. We can't confirm, whether people are okay in some of the areas outside the city limits that are just cut off because of road outages, bridges out.
Across the southeast, at least 120 people have been killed, hundreds more unaccounted for. Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
President Biden plans to visit areas impacted by Helene later this week, but says he's already ordering a surge of federal resources from FEMA and the Defense Department.
We'll be there, as I said before, and I mean it, as long as it takes to finish this job.
The president says he expects Congress will need to approve additional disaster relief funding.
This is a historic storm. It's devastating. They've never seen anything like this before. And some of them are back-to-back, 3 storms in a row. So it's really, really devastating.
Vice President Kamala Harris cutting short a campaign trip to help focus on the FEMA response. Former President Trump is in Georgia now, meeting with storm survivors and bringing supplies to the state, including fuel and water. Also getting questions from reporters about tomorrow night's VP debate.
I think JD is going to do great. He's a very smart guy. He's done a great job. People like him a lot.
His running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, facing Harris running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Fox News Radio will provide live coverage and a simulcast of the CBS News vice presidential debate tomorrow, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Biden administration just announcing tougher asylum rules at the southern border, making it more difficult to lift restrictions that were previously announced, as the Trump campaign continues to make immigration a top issue. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Enjoy this Monday afternoon. It's very pretty out there. Partly sunny skies, pretty close to 80 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, 63 for the low. On Tuesday, sunny skies, a little breezy Tuesday afternoon. Here comes a dry, cool front, 76 for the high. 49 Tuesday night, Wednesday, sunny and 74. Wednesday, the coolest of the week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Have you checked out the Diamond Shop yet? I hope you have. They're in Clayton, Missouri. If you've been there before, then you know how wonderful this business is. How the longevity, 1910. That's when they started, and they've since moved to Clayton. And when you walk in the store and you've got this idea of something you're looking for, if they don't have it, they can customize it for you. They are so wonderful and artistic and accommodating at creating beautiful jewelry pieces that are unique just to you. A lot of people have gone in there. I brought in a ring from my grandmother that I was thinking about changing into a pendant or maybe a set of earrings or something. And just talking to them about what my options were really helped me make a good decision that I was confident with, that piece of jewelry. Now, for some people who are looking in, maybe more of a budget range, you want to get a gift for somebody and you got $50 to spend or $500 to spend or whatever, maybe much more north of that, you can go into the diamond shop and they're going to accommodate you with respect every single time and deliver every single time. Become a VIP online. Just visit them at thediamondshop.net.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is happening now. Tune into the Annie Fry Show live stream. Vote and be a part of the conversation by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Subscribe and leave a comment.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, happy Monday. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for tuning in to 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. It's a good weekend. We did night. Man, I had a super busy weekend this past weekend. Friday night, we did Night of Rock Stars. If you tuned in to the show on Friday in the 2 o'clock hour, put my hair up in rollers. Turned out great. Thanks for humoring me for that.
Mm-hmm.
I had every intention of doing that. And then when I was sitting here, I go, how am I going to put my headphones on if I have rollers in my hair? So I just didn't wear them. It was weird.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that. I couldn't figure out how you were doing it because, if you play sound, you couldn't hear it.
I didn't play sound.
I guess that's how you did it.
I just asked you guys a lot of questions you'd argue about and let you handle it.
Great job.
She played us.
It was for St. Louis. So we did Night of Rock Stars. It was an amazing event. That place had 800 tickets sold, 800 people there, sold out crowd. Filled up the Gateway Convention Center, and it was just another wonderful, amazing night. Nightofrockstars.com if you want to learn a little bit more about it, but such an honor to be a part of that. And then, so that was Friday night. Amidst torrential rain, how's your house doing with the water and stuff in the basement? You got that all taken care of?
We finally got it fixed because of your friend Tim.
Oh, yeah?
Who fixed our windows.
He took care of it?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So did you guys have any problems with water at your house?
I don't think we had any at my house. I don't think any of our rentals did either, but it was a lot of rain.
It was a lot of rain. I loved it.
Yes. It felt like
He's in the
it was
mood.
ushering in October. That's why I led with, it's still not October and it's warm.
He's not over that.
I love it. Saturday morning, had 3 volleyball games at a round-robin tournament for my 7th grade team in Belleville, and that was a lot of fun. And then after that, my son had homecoming this weekend, and the homecoming football game got rained out on Friday night, and they moved it to the, I think it was an 11 a.m. start, 1 in overtime.
Well, that's cool.
That's fun.
I think it was 34-34 at the end of the fourth quarter. The other team scored a touchdown. No. Metro East Lutheran High School scored a touchdown. They had the ball first, I guess. Scored a touchdown. I think, they scored a 2-point conversion. I think there's a lot more of that going on in high school than
Definitely.
kicks.
Yeah.
And then the other team got the ball, and they scored a touchdown. And the Knights of Metro East Lutheran High School stopped them on the 2-point conversion to win the homecoming game.
Wow, that's dramatic.
Isn't that super
That's
fun?
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have to tell you this, though, because I think this might remind you of, this will take you back, because it definitely took me back. My son got in the car. We made him go all the way out to Belleville. We had to be in the gym at 8 a.m. to watch his sister play volleyball, 3 matches in a row. And the football game was starting at 11 a.m., and we needed him out there. He needs to help with the 3-year-old during volleyball games as much as possible. And I thought, we should probably be able to get this done in time for him to be able to go to the football game at 11. If we win the tournament, maybe we'll go out to eat, but we'll just figure it out. We'll figure it out, even if it's complicated. And another family was there who had a daughter who went to the football game, and they're like, hey, we could take Charlie. We're like, that's awesome. Fantastic. Go. So he got to go. When he got in the car, when we went to pick him up, he said, unprompted from us, like just sitting in the back of the car, we weren't even like really talking to him. He was like, oh my gosh, that was so fun. The homecoming game experience and being with your friends and being able to cheer on your team, and then, of course, to have a dramatic athletic victory like an overtime win at a football game for your high school. It doesn't have to be homecoming. But when you're a freshman and you've never done anything like this before, and you get that experience, and you get to do it with friends and stuff from high school, there are just certain things in high school that I remember. They were just kind of euphoric in the way that you're experiencing something that you've never experienced before. And those 4 years of high school where you're just shedding what it is to be a kid, and you're experiencing things kind of on your own, and you get to question things, you get to decide things that maybe you've always believed, but you kind of make the decision on your own to take a specific path, and people aren't micromanaging you as much anymore. It was really kind of neat to see him be so pumped about that experience and have such a good time at that experience. I just kind of made me think back to some of those times in high school where I felt like just older, much more mature or something.
I have a mixed relationship with that stuff from high school because I remember it naturally. I'm so rebellious against everything that everybody says is good. Lots of people told me going to high school, they would say
sports stuff.
They would say, well, you got to go do all this stuff. It's so fun. So I naturally was like, nope, not doing that stuff. And then later in high school, I started to do it just because people were doing it. And I realized
it's just a social thing.
It was fun. And not necessarily for the reasons that everybody told me it was, but it was that same feeling. Oh, I'm kind of getting older and I'm doing this stuff independently.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this sense of freedom to it.
And it's not always like the big football game or the big group of people. It could be just individual situations that you experience while you're growing up. I remember the miles per hour of the breeze the day I got in my car for the first time by myself. Like specific details of everything that day. I know where the car was parked. I remember what the key looked like that I put in the ignition. I remember all those details, but just getting one step closer to that independence that I always wanted. Now I'm like, can someone please take care of me? Not the government. Somebody who loves me a lot. Just ship me a boatload of money. It was fun. So then we had football game in Saturday afternoon, homecoming dance Saturday night. Did you guys see pictures of Charlie?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
He looked so handsome. He's gonna kill me.
As I was seeing that on my Facebook feed, I was like, I know what you're thinking, which is
what?
My son looks like a grown man.
Like a man. Like a young, handsome man.
And then I realized that I'm going to be going through that in a couple of years.
You're going to look like a handsome man?
I'm going to be,
What are you getting
I'm
done?
going to look in the mirror and be like, look at this guy.
Look, he's come a long way.
Look at this puberty guy.
Show up and sit in the middle of the student section at the homecoming football
Yeah.
game and feel it all out.
Wear
See
my
what-
Letterman jacket. Be like, I'm one of you now.
And that picture of Charlie, it was the one where he was sitting down and not looking directly at the camera.
Yeah.
I was like, that is a great picture. And then I scrolled left and I saw the picture of him looking down at Molly and her looking up. Oh my gosh.
I'll put those up on the stream in the 2 o'clock hour. Yeah. Molly wanted to get in a dress. She never does this stuff. So my son wore like a light blue suit, white shirt, navy tie. Got him some new Nike Dunks, which is the shoe of choice of children. They were gray. He's like,
know this.
He goes, Mom, can I get some Nike Dunks? And I'm like, what are those? And then he's like, it's a shoe. And what I told him was he needed a new pair of tennis shoes anyway. So I was like, these are your phase in shoes, your tennis shoes that you're wearing right now. He wears a size 14 shoe. So he pretty hard on his shoes, and you can't just find them. You have to order them a lot. A lot of times there's not a lot of choice in the store for what he needs. And so I told him, I was like, if you're going to be screwing around, if you're going to be going over and playing at the farm, or if you're going to be even at school, like, we'll clean your old shoes once, wear those. And these are, because kids wear tennis shoes as their nice shoes all the time now. That's kind of the status quo. You can wear nice shoes with dresses, nice tennis shoes with dresses. You wear them with suits, whatever. So I told him, like, these are your nice place shoes. These are not your active play in the gym floor and all that stuff shoes. So he was pretty up for that. And then my husband was like, he doesn't need a suit coat. I'm like, he looks really good in the suit coat. So he can't grow, but he's probably still going to.
What would you do if you came home? Your grass was cut, but they were cut in those shoes. You're getting grass cut.
It's not. I don't care.
No?
I'll cut the grass. Nate Bargatze, I just watched this YouTube short that Nate Bargatze, you know him, the comedian. Are you familiar with him? Do you like him?
I don't know him well enough.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. He is so funny. He has this clip about how his wife cuts the grass. She wants to cut the grass.
Okay.
And he's like, you can cut the grass, but you need to go to every single one of our neighbors and face-to-face tell them that you want to be cutting the grass and that I am not making you cut the grass. And then he goes on about saying, he's like, someone comes over, you're like, oh, you got your wife cutting the grass? And he's like, yeah, Mom's fixing the roof right now, too. I grew up on a farm on a tractor cutting acres of grass. I like to do that. My husband, it's funny because he does not like people to see me cutting our grass. Do you relate to that?
Yes.
Do you cut your grass?
Yeah. Heck yes, I do.
Would you care if Katie cut your grass?
She's asked me a couple times.
And is it the same?
Oh, she's like, would you care if I cut it once in a while? And I was like, yeah, I kind of care.
Only if you do it at night.
I don't care as much about other people seeing her as much as I feel like I need to do it. And I enjoy doing it.
Do you feel like you need to do it because she's not going to do a good job?
No, she'd probably do an okay job, but
What if she did a better job?
Then we got problems. But you know what she can do? I'll concede this. I'll cut the grass if she can just do all the trimming. If she could go around with the weed whacker, that'd be great.
Why?
Well, because I hate doing that
mundane.
part. I like doing the grass cutting part.
So you want to cut the grass because you enjoy cutting the grass?
Yeah, it's
therapeutic.
Yeah, that's the word I'm
Peaceful.
looking for. Yes.
Yes, I feel the same.
Therapeutic.
But if she were to cut the grass, do you feel like she'd be taking away from your therapy time?
A little bit, and the manhood a little bit, I think.
Okay, I just want to drill down on that part.
Yeah, that's definitely there.
I think it's a very common thing.
But I mean, if I'm out of town and she wants to cut the grass, no big deal. But if it became a regular thing, I'd be like, no, that's my job. I need to do that.
Do you cut your grass or just Terry?
I cut our grass. And
okay.
Yeah, and I agree with Ryan. It's the therapeutic, like, cathartic thing. I love doing it, especially if, like, the bigger the yard, the better. Because you just go out there and you're in your own world and you're doing it, making sure you're doing this mundane task, and you can.
Yeah, you're getting something done.
Yeah, you can make something look good, get something done, but it's also kind of mindless. But man, your wife out front while everybody can see you while you're not cutting the grass.
Well, it's not like you're drinking Arnold Palmer's on the porch, making sure she doesn't miss a spot.
Well, that is what I would do, though.
But you could see how if it's therapeutic and peaceful for you, that it would be the same for her. But there is a manliness to wanting to take pride in your grass, which brings me to Kamala Harris. Why was she talking about her lawn when she was saying, I'm a middle class, I was raised in a middle class, we were proud of our lawns? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was a line like over and over.
Why are the people who can't afford to maintain their lawns right now not up in arms about such an segregated type of statement? She's saying that you have to be of a certain class to care about your lawn. How many people can't afford the gas to power the lawnmower needed and the time to maintain their lawn in a place that, I would think that the more poverty-stricken places, they care less about their lawn, but they may not care. They just may not have the means to do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very, kind of elitist thing to say. From a middle-class standpoint.
It is elitist a little bit. I mean, she's kind of playing in the stereotype of suburbia, I think, is what she's doing.
That's what she's trying.
It's exactly what she's trying to do. She's trying to do the Midwest thing. She's trying to be Tim Walz for a second and be like, I'm just normal. I'm a normal person.
We cared about our lawns.
Yeah.
Not like those other people.
If Trump said that,
oh, yeah,
he'd be raked over the coals for talking down to the sloppy lawn people.
Yeah. There'd be a whole contingency of people out there being like sloppy lawn people for Harris.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to play a clip from Saturday Night Live this weekend. Plus, we're going to talk about the YouTube live chat poll. Who's the weirdest candidate running right now? When J.D. Vance got picked as the VP for Donald Trump, that was right out the gate. J.D. Vance is weird. And do you remember who called him weird first? It was Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, not VP candidate Tim Walz. Nobody even knew nationally who Tim Walz was, but he came out and he's like, I think he's weird. Everything I'm learning about J.D. Vance is he's the most relatable person in this race right now, the one who I could relate to the most. And Tim Walz? Well, go vote. We'll be right back.
Maybe you'll find something that's enough to keep you. But if the bright lights don't receive you,
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I got a hole in me now.
The Retirement Advisory Group, right there online at retirementkey.com. We have an event tomorrow, and it is Tuesday, October 1st, as I was saying. It is at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. is when the event starts. It's free. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to go. We do need you to reserve your spot, though, so we can prepare for how many people will fill the room. And I hear spots are limited, so go. Make sure that you get yours filled in there at 314-993-9494 and come learn about how you can protect your retirement. It's an educational event by Bob and Tammy Kershaw, Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group. They're going to give you the tips and tricks you need to join their clientele that have never lost a penny of their nest egg. You can join them for free on Tuesday, tomorrow, and I'll be there from 6 to 6:30 along with Mark Cox and Mark Reardon. Would love to see you and shake your hand. At 6:30, we turn it over to the folks at the Retirement Advisory Group to guide you through what they can do to help you. It's free. There are snacks, and they're going to have you out of there before 7:30. So we're going to do the VP debate tomorrow night and everything, but you won't miss a beat of it. You can still reserve your spot today. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care. New Perspective Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing, and if you need a new water heater like today, maybe it just went out, send them a picture of your water heater for an estimate, and you could have same-day service. Call 314-500-LEAK and find them online at BEISplumbing.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at GSLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Brian Kilmeade.
I mean, to think that he, within 3 weeks of being the next president, one country's trying to kill him, and what we do is we hand out an indictment. Wow. How about threat of an attack if you keep this up?
Weekdays from 3 to 6. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
All right, Ryan, did you watch Saturday Night Live this weekend?
Just enough to know what mattered.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you watch it live?
No, just all this afterward stuff.
Isn't it amazing how much media and television and film that you can consume without ever seeing the body of work?
Yeah, and it's so weird because with this kind of stuff especially, you'll see it come up in your news feed. Like like this is supposed to be just entertainment on a Saturday night. It's not supposed to be news.
The debate tomorrow and all the debates before, all that matters is what creeps and seeps into social media.
Mm-hmm.
As I said last week, we had a volleyball practice where the 7th graders, while they were supposed to be practicing serve receive, were going, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable.
The middle school is saying that?
Yes. And I mean, I've had conversations with multiple people who are connected to the youth of America in a professional way, and they said that Donald Trump is cool.
Okay. Well, if they said it, I trust the poll.
Well, I think that matters.
I do too.
And it doesn't happen. Donald Trump isn't cool because of his debate performance. Donald Trump is cool because of what the internet elects to do with the debate performance, which means what J.D. Vance does tomorrow or what Tim Walz does tomorrow, whatever is memeable, that'll be the result of the debate. It's a very weird thing that, like, comedy and entertainment and the virology of what the internet can do to any particular moment in time or facial expression. I mean, it could be a still photo. It could be a fly on somebody's head.
Yep.
That all of a sudden, the entire future of the United States of America can be boiled down to what can be memed. It's exciting in a weird way because it takes the power out of the media. It takes away from the mainstream media, and I'm not talking about what Mark Cuban says, because Mark Cuban says that the mainstream media is right-leaning. I'll have what he's having. But if you realize how much this diminishes those people who have had 10 and 2 firm grips on the narrative that is accepted by the American public, how frustrated do you think the people at MSNBC are that they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, turned into a positive for Donald Trump? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, this stuff, it's nice to see that their grip on things is being taken away. They've lost. I mean, they could have maintained the power that they've had indefinitely.
All they had to do was remain professional and somewhat, not biased. And they have just absolutely fumbled the football on it because they felt like they needed to shape the narrative. It's like, our job isn't just to tell the news. Our job is to shape what you think about the news. It's like, well, that's why you lost, because people can see through that.
Well, it's always been the case that the entertainment industry was able to influence. And Saturday Night Live had to have been one of the top main drivers for influencing political elections. I mean, I can in my head, I bet you can in your head, go back and think of all of the people who have played presidents or super high-profile people in our American government over the course of years. So much so that strategery is something that is applied to George W. Bush, and Will Ferrell is the one who said it on a SNL skit. Lockbox. Do you remember Lockbox?
Yep.
Al Gore. Who played Al Gore?
I was just going to ask that. I don't remember.
I don't remember his name, but I know who played. I can see his face.
Was it Daryl Hammond?
Yes.
No.
Are you sure?
It's the other guy, the one who was it? Yeah, it was Daryl. It was Daryl Hammond.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, Will Ferrell was playing. I was thinking it was the other guy who's in all of the Adam Sandler movies. So Daryl Hammond playing SNL. Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey was playing George H.W. Bush, and they had a debate where George H.W. Bush was supposed to be debating Ross Perot, and in practice, he kept saying, no, you got to do Ross Perot like this. And then he ended up playing both of them, which is wild. But, I mean, you can go through and think about Bill Clinton and how Bill Clinton has been portrayed with the lip bite and everything.
Yeah, it was Phil Hartman for a long time.
Yeah.
And I just recently
Daryl
went
Hammond
back.
also.
And maybe after Phil Hartman. Because for a while there, I remember there was a sketch where they just had open auditions of their own cast to play Bill Clinton. And the last one was Chris Farley. And he's like, I can do it. And he comes out just in a gray wig, nothing else. They're like, Chris, I just don't know if you're going to be right for Bill Clinton. But Bill Clinton, the one I watched recently, it was super funny. It was during his presidency. He walks into a McDonald's and he's like, hey, I'm just here to identify with the common man, and he just walks around eating people's food. That's all he does. And they keep telling him, you should be on a jog. He's like, I'm trying to identify with the common man.
Do you remember Kate McKinnon coming and did she sit at the piano and play like after Hillary lost? It's the saddest, most pathetic thing I've ever seen.
It wasn't
like
a sketch.
No, it was just like our hearts pour out to you. We're like, this is Saturday Night Live.
What is this?
I don't know, but it was funny to me.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. It was very funny.
So Maya Rudolph is playing Kamala Harris, and I've seen some people talk about her impression and saying it's kind of trash. She looks like her enough that it works. Like if you don't, it's always great if you can really deliver the mannerisms and the tone. But Dana Carvey is back on SNL as Joe Biden, and I've heard Dana Carvey in his podcast with David Spade do the impressions he's a great, one of the greatest impressionists ever. And this is what happened this weekend on Saturday Night Live. We'll react to it after.
Listen up, everyone. We couldn't have gotten here without one man, and his name is Joe Biden. Get on out here, Joe Biden.
Folks, that's right. A lot of people forget I'm president, including me. But guess what? And by the way, I think I did a pretty good job. I passed more bills than any president in history. But folks, we still got work to do, no joke. I'm being serious right now. Come on. And guess what? And by the way, the fact of the matter is, the rich don't pay their fair share. They gotta pay the fair share. We gotta build back better. The build back the better, the better, the better, the better. Build back the better. Can't believe it's not butter.
Thank you, Jabari. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I just want to say thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for putting country first and for handing over the reins.
I didn't want to. They made me. And guess what? And by the way, the fact of the matter is, no joke, this is serious right now. This is serious. Anyway, in conclusion, me and Vice President Harris are the same.
Oh, okay. Oh, great stuff. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Goodbye, Joe. Goodbye, Biden. Biden, everyone.
So that's the little skit they did. I think they hit it out of the park on that. I feel like you got to pick up some of the things that they're willing to put out there. Comedy is a very open and honest acknowledgement of what is true that oftentimes most people aren't willing to just abruptly address in front of people. That's why it becomes relatable. There's a little bit of uncomfortability to it, but being able to talk about it with people and laugh, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it healthy. But they do kind of poke it at Kamala Harris's Jabida thing that she talks weird. They bring Joe Biden out. Why haven't they been doing this with Joe Biden the whole time? Why are they doing this to Joe Biden now?
It's depressing, isn't it? It's because he doesn't matter anymore.
Well, I mean, when Saturday Night Live chose to do it this way, a couple of things. They acknowledge that Joe Biden is not with it. They acknowledge that Joe Biden was pushed out. And they also acknowledge that there is a question as to whether or not Kamala Harris is just a wash, rinse, repeat of Joe Biden, and that Kamala Harris doesn't want people to know that. And, I mean, it's the studio audience, so you're encouraged to laugh. Of course, you are going to laugh in that audience, in that setting, but they laughed.
Her impersonation was a little better than I remember seeing. Listening to it, I the first time I was like, listening to it again, I'm like, she's not actually that bad. And then what you can't see because it's radio is Dana Carvey's mannerisms.
Yes. Spot on.
The way, and I'll say this, and if you haven't seen it and you're just listening, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. He'll be talking, and then his eyes will suddenly get real wide. And then he'll go back to being normal, and then he does the whisper, and he's the shuffle. He's got it. I mean, it is perfect.
The single finger alongside his nose, where he just kind of softly wipes it down his nose.
A lot of people think that's a signal.
Yeah, he walked up. Dana Carvey did it. He just walked up to the mic like that right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a signal?
That like he doesn't know what he's doing, or he needs to that he's
like the
Joe Biden
third base coach.
Next?
That Joe Biden does that when he needs help or if he's lost his place or something like that or whatever. People have said that before. I will tell you this, that if I were in a position like a president of the United States, I would have things that I had in place that would communicate to other people around me. I need a reset, or I need something. I would absolutely do. I don't think that's because I think that's what you would do if you're the president of the United States and you're going to be in front of people and you can't afford to make mistakes. So I don't think that's a Joe Biden thing.
The sad commentary that's happening here is that we finally get a sketch that's basically acknowledging what we've seen in the last couple months. Joe Biden gets pushed out. He doesn't know what he's doing. Everybody could see it. Kamala Harris is there going, no, we're not really that. I mean, we are associated. I'm glad you're here, but no, we're not. She can't figure it out. They finally chose Dana Carvey, who's fantastic at this.
He could do Kamala Harris.
He could have been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
And they just now decided.
And I mean, didn't Shane Gillis have an opportunity to be on? Didn't he say something? Didn't he get bounced from SNL because he was?
He was hired, and then they found some old jokes that he made, and they canceled him off of it. And then everything that we know about him has been like really post cancellation.
I believe people can grow. I don't know what he said that was cancelable, and I don't trust culture to cancel people for things that are necessary to cancel. But that doesn't also mean that if whatever he said, I'm in no way, shape, or form endorsing it. But is there no redemption? Times change. We can go back in anybody. I mean, we could go back with anybody who's been on Saturday Night Live and show things that are air quotes problematic, that if you really wanted to get all the energy to work up to cancel them, you could probably do it. But who wants to do that? Like, are these people crap people? Are they bad people? Did they make an off-color joke? Should they apologize for the joke if they're sorry for it? And if they're sorry for it and they apologize for it, are we a country and a culture that can forgive people? I think we are. So, like I said, I don't remember specifically. I remember the story that he got bounced from a Saturday Night Live because they invited him back and he's hosted since then.
Yeah, right.
But imagine a 2020 where Shane Gillis and Dana Carvey are parodying the election.
Oh, man.
It'd have been great.
And it's what America wants. America A wants to laugh. America B doesn't want to be lied to anymore. In 2024, I think it's one of the most interesting things about what I am just observing. It's kind of a feeling I'm getting about it. It's an observation that maybe I could be completely wrong about, but it seems pretty consistent. Americans are not all of a sudden in love with Donald Trump, but they realize that they've been blatantly lied to about Donald Trump for so long that the things that have frustrated people about Donald Trump anymore do not outweigh their anger for the lying that has taken place about who he is, because now they have something to compare it to. You lied to us about Donald Trump so that we would put ourselves in the hands of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and this is what we got for it? Show me again what's so bad about Donald Trump. Oh, you can't? He isn't this person who you've made him out to be, and what you really hate are his policies and the fact that you won't have power should he win the presidency? That's where you get mean tweets and cheap gas. People are willing to consume the mean tweets and the cheap gas as opposed to the alternative, which is some sort of like righteous 15 pieces of flair from Office Space way to like walk around and show that you're better than people. People don't care about that anymore.
Yeah, it's almost as if they've done this to themselves by treating Trump so differently. If they had treated Trump pretty much just like a candidate and made fun of him when he needed to, made fun of their own side when they needed to, they may have stopped Trump. You know, Trump is so the anti all of that he keeps rising because people go, well, nobody's giving him a fair shake, so we got to keep going with the guy.
But they couldn't do it because the same people that wanted Shane Gillis canceled would be out there marching, raving, driving up, calling their sponsors and all this other stuff, saying, hey, you can't have them on there because you're humanizing Donald Trump. They don't want you to see Donald Trump as a human. And that's kind of why you haven't seen him in Saturday Night Live as anything more than what they've shown him as just, was it Alec Baldwin? That was the worst impression I've ever seen.
Yeah, remember that room that you went to on vacation where you got to smash things?
Mm-hmm.
That was what Alec Baldwin did with the Trump thing. It was just like, what did they call it, a rage room or something?
Yeah, it's a smash room.
Smash room?
Uh-huh.
It's like, just come out here and take all your feelings on the American public on Saturday Night Live. And Alec Baldwin was like, okay, good. Is there a copay for this therapy session?
Right.
And I mean, the really crazy part about it is that a campaign that was supposed to be run on joy, from the Kamala Harris stuff, like nobody buys that. Nobody buys that except for the people who are so just dripping, and it's like a slime drip. This just ooze that drips over them. That is their orange man bad hate. That the only antidote is Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you went to get a Krispy Kreme donut and they forgot to give you the donut.
Yeah.
It's a donut-shaped gloss.
Yeah.
I see that's there.
There's a veneer here, but it's actually lacking substance. I mean, the only way that the Harris-Walz campaign would bring you joy is if you were at such a deficit in your life for anything that resembled happiness. You are here. And Kamala Harris brings you just right up here. Also, in conclusion, there is no way, and I'm watching Maya Rudolph with this big Harris-Walz sign behind her. There is no freaking way that if the Harris-Walz ticket was Republican, that wouldn't say Harry Balls. There's no way that Saturday Night Live would not have a skit somewhere where they keep getting the sign wrong. No, you get the campaign manager who comes in. How many times do I have to tell you? Harris-Walz. And that's the only time I'm going to say that other phrase. And I try to glaze over it as fast as I can. But there's no way that if these were Republicans, that there wouldn't be skit after skit after skit about getting the Harris-Walz sign wrong. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to try to connect with Stephen Moore here on the Annie Fry Show, so don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Jen Teskey, my friend from Remax Alliance. And boy, the Remax Alliance Night of Rockstars this weekend, this organization is so wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful people with Remax Alliance, and so honored to be able to be a part of it as the MC for Night of Rockstars and Jen Teskey's constant support of that event. I want you to make sure that if you're looking to buy or sell in Illinois, that you know Jen Teskey and Remax Alliance are there to guide you through that process. 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. That's the number to call or to text if you're looking to buy or sell right now. We've talked about this with other issues, but as rates are going to come down a little bit, that market's going to get a little more hopping. And that means that there's going to be people out there who are going to be looking to buy that maybe weren't before. So if you've considered selling your home, get that conversation started right now with Jen Teskey and Remax Alliance so that you can see what kind of offers you might be able to get for your home, what you might be able to list it for, what kind of timeline you might be looking at to get that ultimate sale. 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. Online at jenteskeyhomes.com.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based based solely upon advertisements.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
Selling your home? Every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out the only agents I trust. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
This is where you interact with us. It's the YouTube live chat poll. Today's question, who's the weirdest candidate running? Is it J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, or Tim Walz? I have not looked at the results of this, but I've got a feeling that I'm going to vote with the majority. 150. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
There's still a debate between now and Election Day, and it's this Tuesday. The vice presidential debate between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. Democracy 2024. Listen to the debate here, Tuesday night on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for sticking around with us this afternoon. I want to get straight to our next guest as Steve Moore joins us once again, a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation, also a Trump economic advisor. Steve, welcome back to the show. It's always good to have you here.
Hey, Annie, great to be with you.
I want to ask you real quick what you know about this port workers strike that is pending today. This could have a huge impact on our economy.
Yeah, well, it could be for sure. You know, these are about 1/3 of the ports on our eastern seaboard, so that would disrupt a lot of commerce, a lot of the goods coming in and going out. And so this is the very definition of remember the term supply chain problem? This would create quite a supply chain problem, Maddie. And if it happens, then what do you think is going to happen to the price of things? They're going to come up because, you know, if you have a reduced supply, that means the price goes up. So this is not a great time for a strike. I think these unions, the dock worker unions, realize that they've got, you know, their hands, so they can ask for, you know, huge increases. And by the way, I don't know the real facts about how much these people are being paid and so on. So I don't have an opinion about that. But yeah, the answer to your question is yes. This could be really disruptive to the economy because we're so dependent on these ports.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I wanted to ask you, I don't know if we've spoken since the Fed cut rates before the election. I don't know if it's possible that they would potentially do it again before the election, but what does it signal to you when we get the kind of cut that we got a few weeks ago?
Well, the answer to your second question is no, they don't meet again. And you know, yes, Manny?
Say that again. Your signal broke up a little bit there.
I'm sorry. Do you know when the next Fed meeting is?
No, I don't.
It's the day after the election. So no, okay. Your answer is could they do it before the election? The answer is no. And by the way, that's one of the reasons. Look, I feel I forget whether you and I discussed this last week or not, but I do feel strongly that when they did what the Wall Street Journal called a jumbo rate cut of 50 basis points, that was jumping the gun a little bit. I thought it was an overtly political move to press their thumb on the scale in favor of Kamala to provide some juice for the economy in the last month. But that's going to, that could lead to higher prices in the long term. So, I think and this is the fact.
Let let me put Steve on hold here for just a second, and Kyle out there can check and see if we can get his connection because it's really cutting out hard. Or Brad, you can go talk to him. But I mean, have you been paying attention, Ryan, to this port strike stuff?
Yeah, well, just enough. I mean, it's become news this weekend that it's something that could kind of impact everything that you buy in a way. So you're kind of going, what am I supposed to think here? I don't want this to happen. But at the same time, you're going, well, yeah, I mean, there's nobody out there going, yes, we want this to happen. But it's just there's so much to it that it's hard to dissect quickly.
Fox Business says 36 ports along the East and Gulf Coast are facing a potential work stoppage as the deadline for a new contract between port employers and dock workers edges closer. Tens of thousands of dock workers represented by the International Longshoremen's Association could walk off the job. All right, I think we got him back there. Steve, I'm so sorry about that. We couldn't hear what you were saying, and I wanted to make sure.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir. We certainly can.
So what I was saying before we broke up was that I thought it was an overtly political decision by the Fed to lower rates by 50 basis points. I thought, maybe 25 basis points, but why put your thumb on the scale right before an election? I think. And by the way, the Fed, Jerome Powell's not saying, "Oh, we're not political." Well, that looked like a political decision to me. Why couldn't they waited 4 weeks after waiting 2 years until the election is over?
And when you say it's political, I think that a lot of people who are not obviously economists like you are wonder what is the political maneuver there? What is the immediate reaction that people are going to experience that makes it political?
So when the Fed lowers rates, it pours money into the economy, cheap money. Now, in the short term, that's great, right? Oh, look, everybody's got this extra money. But, of course, what does that lead to? As you know, we saw at the beginning of the Biden presidency more and more inflation. So I think that, the inflation fight is not over. And I think the Fed, it's no secret that Jerome Powell and Donald Trump don't like each other too much. And so I thought this was an inappropriate move by the Fed, given that, I think inflation's still out there, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yes. I mean, I've gone to my husband and I, we've got a family of 6. We have 4 kids, and it is jarring to see what we're paying in groceries.
To feed a family of 6 kids. I mean, with six of you. So I know exactly what you mean. I've got 2 teenagers at home, and they eat like horses.
That's like having 4 kids.
Our grocery bill. No, it's unbelievable. And my wife, Ann, gets so mad at me. She goes, "You have no idea what these things cost." And I'll say, $300 for groceries. How could you do it? And then she goes down come on. A box of cereal is $10 now.
That's an expensive box of cereal. I wanted to give you, I got like a minute or so, about a minute left here. I wanted to ask you about Donald Trump. We've heard him saying no tax on tips. He's now said no tax on overtime. What do you think of the direction he's taking a lot of these messages to American voters right now?
I like that one. I think people work overtime and put in the extra time, and they're working hard. I think that's a nice tax cut for working class people. I like the idea of not taxing tips. I was a tip worker at one point. My first job was a tip worker working as a car parker. Sometimes I'd walk away, at the end of a long night with $50 cash in my pocket.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pay tax. By the way, that was when $50 was a lot of money.
Yeah. Well,
so I like it. And I think, I think most working class people see the benefit of that. And by the way, the better job you do, the bigger tip you get.
Exactly.
Right?
That's an incentive. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you. We always love talking to you, and Lord knows there'll be more to talk about. Yep, you as well. Bye-bye. Steve Moore is the Distinguished Fellow in Economics at Heritage Foundation. Ryan, you could be a Distinguished Fellow of the Annie Fry Show. We could create a program.
Well, as long as I get something free out of it, I think I'd be okay with that.
What if we just continue to give you your job?
I guess I could just be a Distinguished Fellow at this job.
Yeah, on your business cards?
Okay.
So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. As a business owner in these uncertain economic times, you struggle to guard your life's work against unexpected challenges. But can it withstand the sudden disruption of a divorce? When your hard-earned work is at risk, count on our experience and advocacy in handling these matters at Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of our Missouri or Illinois attorneys. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Town & Country, Missouri, 63017. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Sick of those annoying ads slowing you down online? Introducing i3 Broadband's 100% fiber optic network with advanced whole home Wi-Fi. With speeds up to 8 gigabits, buffering is so yesterday. Our rock-solid connection keeps you streaming, gaming, and browsing without a hitch, thanks to our ad blocking feature. No contracts, no hidden fees. Just pure internet bliss. And we've got a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Dial 877-976-0711 or swing by i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and committed to St. Louis.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Join the movement to end breast cancer on October 19th. By supporting the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer, you're helping save lives through groundbreaking research discovery and patient support. Get info or donate at makingstrideswalk.org/St. Louis Mo.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
People still need rescuing from Hurricane Helene. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Days after the Florida landfall, some communities are cut off by floodwaters, with North Carolina especially hard hit. Fox's Steve Harrigan in Asheville.
The mayor here says the city is still in an active crisis. She said one of the biggest problems is the fact that 3 out of the 4 main highways that come in and out of Asheville have been washed out. She says they need everything, the basics, food, water, electric power, cell phone service. And many people say because of the damaging nature of this storm, it's gotten tough to even recognize their own hometown.
More than 120 dead in 6 states, hundreds unaccounted for. President Biden pledging federal help for as long as it takes. Former President Trump meeting with storm survivors.
We are going to be with you as long as you need it. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers.
Visiting Valdosta, Georgia, and adding that when a crisis hits, politics doesn't matter. Though he did criticize President Biden, saying Georgia's governor hadn't been able to reach him. The White House said last night President Biden had spoken to multiple officials, including Georgia's governor. More U.S. forces heading to the Middle East as the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah escalates.
The Pentagon says the U.S. is sending a few thousand more troops and squadrons of fighter jets to the Middle East to protect U.S. forces and defend Israel if necessary. Israel launching small ground raids against Hezbollah as it prepares for a larger ground operation in Lebanon to clear out Hezbollah infrastructure near Israeli border communities.
I'm more aware than you might know, and I'm comfortable with them stopping. We should have a ceasefire now.
President Biden responding when asked if he was aware of Israel's plans. The State Department says it still supports a ceasefire in Lebanon, but at the same time, military pressure can at times enable diplomacy.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Israel's been targeting Hezbollah leaders with airstrikes. Health officials say many civilians have been killed, injured, and displaced. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Enjoy this Monday afternoon. It's very pretty out there. Partly sunny skies, pretty close to 80 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, 63 for the low. On Tuesday, sunny skies, a little breezy Tuesday afternoon. Here comes a dry, cool front, 76 for the high. 49 Tuesday night, Wednesday, sunny and 74. Wednesday, the coolest of the week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Window World, you can make sure that if you're looking for windows here in the near future, I want you to know that Window World, stlewis.com has all the details that you need for researching what your purchase might entail. Now, buying new windows for your home, it's going to clearly up the thermal efficiency of your home. A lot of air that you're paying to heat and cool, it seeps out while the cool and hot air outside seeps in, and that costs you boatloads of money and energy that you're paying to temperature control. But you also have the added bonus of being able to upgrade the appearance of your home. The windows that you're going to get from Window World, they're beautiful. And when you start shopping for them and you realize, for instance, that they're now offering up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, you're quickly going to see how this is a very manageable project, and Window World is the sought-after window here in St. Louis. If you call them, and I encourage you to do so, make sure that you tell them that you heard about it on the Annie Fry Show, because you'll be entered into a drawing for 4 St. Louis Blues tickets during this upcoming season. Window World plans to draw one time each month this fall, so call them at 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800 to talk about your window replacements today. Window World.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are 2 things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
There's still a debate between now and Election Day, and it's this Tuesday. The vice presidential debate between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. Democracy 2024. Listen to the debate here, Tuesday night on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture. Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Find me.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you. But may I just say, hi. How you doing? The name's Flynn Rider.
How's your day going?
I'm so happy today. This is something that I came across, and when I looked at this on social media, and I looked at it like, where's the fake part of this here? How old is this? What am I looking at here? Because it couldn't be as simple as just what I was seeing. You guys familiar with Zachary Levi?
Yeah, definitely.
From what?
Well, originally from the show, it was like they were in Best Buy. I can't remember the name of the show. Chuck.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a couple people commenting on that, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember his face from there. What are you familiar with him?
I mainly know him from Shazam.
What is that movie about?
So Shazam is kind of the magical Superman in the DC universe. And
So is Shazam is a DC character?
Yeah, and so he plays Shazam, but his
Ego?
His alter ego?
His Clark Kent is a young boy, and he yells Shazam, and then he turns into this grown man with these superpowers and magical powers, and Zachary Levi plays the adult. So when you watch the movie, it's him acting like a 12-year-old boy with grown man superpowers.
Is it a good movie?
I thought it was funny, but it kind of got bad scores.
There's two of them. The first one was, both of them were fine. The second one apparently kind of bombed at the box office, and I think it killed it.
Well, I know him, which is kind of a shock to absolutely nobody, as the prince, effectively, in the movie Tangled, which is Disney's Rapunzel story. I've always loved that movie. I love the music from it. I think the most beautiful scene that has ever been animated by Disney is the lantern scene in the movie Tangled. I just love it. Zachary Levi tweeted out something. I don't remember if it was in 2022. I don't really remember when it was. But he put something out there that was like, it was a tweet that was maybe supportive of the troops and loving America and defending freedom or something simple like that. And I'm like, I think he's a conservative. It's like the equivalent of saying, well, they fly a flag at their house. You think they're Republican. That is absolutely not a staple way to tell the difference between Republicans and Democrats. But I am certain that there is a higher percentage of Republicans who have a flag in front of their house versus Democrats. So it's just kind of like, it's a piece of information that goes in the body of work where you kind of learn about somebody and you kind of understand them a little bit more. And he sent that tweet out, and he's been on my radar ever since.
That's good to hear, because from what I've known about Zachary Levi, he is an outspoken Christian, which is awesome. But he has avoided politics.
So do you know what I'm about to play?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm very excited to do that. Let's make sure that this is up. And I've got the video up on our live stream so y'all can watch it. This is what I saw. It's got the Shazam image up there. But Zachary Levi in Dearborn, Michigan, takes the stage, flanked by a beautiful backdrop that says Reclaim America with checkerboard United States American flags and Trump Vance logos.
What?
And says this. Is it up? Oh, here. Let me do this. This is on me. It said Shazam endorses Donald Trump, and I'm like, this can't be.
Hey, Dearborn. How we doing, Michigan? It's a beautiful day to be inside right now. Hey, do me a favor really quick, a little unorthodox, but turn to the person next to you and say, hey, I'm really glad that you're alive, and I'm really glad that you're here right now. Just do that real quick. That's called love, and that's called unity, right? We're here for unity, right? We're here to make sure that we value every single person. Every single person. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're a libertarian, an independent, every single one of us is a child of God. Every single one of us is deserving of being seen and heard and loved and valued. Amen. 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 Listen, I'm not going to take too much time, but I did want to just give you a little context why Shazam is standing here talking to you about these various things. I grew up in my family, Christian conservative. That was pretty much kind of the lane that we were in. My parents were Kennedy Democrats that then turned into Reagan Republicans. And they taught me to have a healthy level of distrust for the government and a healthy level of distrust for industry that runs amok. And for a long time, I was like, man, I really want to find a politician that represents all of the things that I want and I want to see in a presidential candidate. And this year, I found Bobby Kennedy, and I thought, man, this guy's it. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. And in a perfect world, and whatever that would look like, perhaps I would have voted for Bobby. But we don't live in a perfect world. In fact, we live in a very broken one. We live in a country that has been hijacked by a lot of people who want to take this place way off the cliff. And we're here to stop that, right? We're here to make sure that we are going to take back this country. We are going to make it great again. We are going to make it healthy again. And so I stand with Bobby, and I stand with Tulsi, and I stand with everyone else who is standing with President Trump. Because I do believe that of the two choices that we have, and we only have two, Donald Trump, President Trump, is the man that can get us there. And he's going to get us there because he's going to have the backing and the support and the wisdom and the knowledge and the fight that exists in Robert Kennedy Jr. and former Representative Tulsi Gabbard. So please, let's welcome them to the stage right now.
So there you have it. Like, isn't that refreshing?
That is shocking to me because I have followed that guy kind of in various ways on social media for 15 years. And he has loathed to say anything political forever.
Because that's what you're supposed to do when you're an actor. Somebody commented, and we forgot about this, but he also played Kurt Warner.
Yes, he did.
In the movie about Kurt Warner. Here's the thing. And I thought to myself when I saw that, I mean, I like fist bumped when I was sitting and I came out and I started playing that. I'm like, is this for real? Is this a Zachary Levi impersonator? What is going on? And I watched and I was like, yes, this is the message. He talks about unity. He talks about all of the things that matter. And then the conclusion is that it results in a vote for Donald Trump. He doesn't worship at the feet of Donald Trump. He doesn't worship at the feet of Bobby Kennedy. What he does is he talks about the things that are important to him, which is his faith, which he talks about first and foremost, and family and understanding, having a healthy distrust of the government and so on and so forth. And I thought to myself, like, oh, if I play this, people will be like, oh, Annie's into celebrity endorsements now. False. I don't care. There's no celebrity out there who can come to me and say, this is who you should vote for, that is going to resonate in any way, shape, or form importance in how I weigh my vote. What I do notice is that he has the same priorities in his life as I do, which is faith and family and the understanding of freedom and liberty and preserving our freedom and liberty so that we don't sacrifice it at the behest of an overpowered, overinflated, overfunded, and underfunded government at the same time. And it's refreshing to see that somebody who probably has no business saying this has decided that the time is now to put aside the professional risk of standing on a stage with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance's name behind him and say, this is important enough to me that I'm willing to come out here and say it. That is really refreshing to me. I am not going to now vote for Donald Trump because Flynn Rider wants me to vote for Donald Trump. But I am heartened by the fact that there are people out there who are publicly willing to say what we've been saying this whole time. You don't see this from people in Hollywood, from the music industry, not really that much from the sports industry, even though we know that in a lot of sports, football and baseball are the ones that I would maybe be familiar with the most, that a huge percentage of those individuals are conservatives. And you could pretty much weigh that down on just being fiscal conservatives because they make a boatload of money, and what team you sign with will dramatically impact how much of that paycheck you get to take home and how much you turn over to the state of Massachusetts or don't have to turn over to the states of like Florida and Nevada and Tennessee. We don't see high-profile people taking this kind of risk. And I don't know that anyone out there is going to be like, well, Zachary Levi said it's okay to vote for Trump, so I guess I'll do it. That's not what it's about.
No, but it's a much bigger deal when an actor comes out and endorses a Republican than when they endorse a Democrat. It just is, because there's so much more on the line for them to do that than if he came out and endorsed Kamala Harris, nobody would have batted an eye. But the fact that he's doing this means he may be putting his own career in jeopardy. And look, the reason it's even a bigger deal is because he is not a past his prime actor.
He's still in it.
He is right in the middle of his game right now. And so will this impact his career? It might. And that's why it's a much bigger deal when you see somebody do this.
Could we be in a position? Could it be possible right now? Because conservatives show up and support people. Like, I would imagine that if word gets out that Zachary Levi was in Dearborn, Michigan, having this conversation, that there will be people who go out. I mean, I want to go watch Tangled with my kids tonight. I have said this before. Flynn Rider is my favorite Disney prince. I think he's a great dynamic character. I enjoy it. I enjoy the movie. The music is great. Mandy Moore, I think, is as Rapunzel's voice. I think it's really great classic storytelling. I want to go watch that movie now, and in the back of my mind, I want to be like, Flynn Rider is voting for Trump. I think that's fun. I would imagine there will be other people who do the same, and it might be measurable.
I do think that there is a sense in which I would like to support him more. I already liked him. I've seen both of the Shazam movies. I thought they were both pretty good. I hope, though, and I know that we're not there. This is pie in the sky stuff. But I really hope that his career just continues the way that it was going to. Because that's what we're hoping for as Americans, to be able to come out, say what you think. I'm not going to not go see a Meryl Streep movie now just because she was on Oprah endorsing Kamala Harris.
Right. Because Meryl Streep is Meryl Streep.
She's a great actress.
Right.
I like some of her movies. I might be interested in seeing the next one, whatever it is. I hope that we can just pick back up as people of the same country and go, you know what? I heard he did endorse Donald Trump. I kind of want to go see his new movie. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go eat at Chick-fil-A. Whatever it is. Like, just go about your life and then vote. Be passionate about it. But the fact that these people might get canceled for something like that means that we're in a precarious spot, and I don't want us to be there.
So Tim Walz really flipped off the Michigan crowd. I didn't see that. I heard people talking about, and Joe Concha talked about it. It's quite a dramatic segue here. But, I mean, I just keep looking at, when we're talking about what Zachary Levi has said here and just kind of the mood and the energy that exists around. And I'm not one to talk about moods and energy and vibes and all of that stuff as actual factors. And I always think, like, you kind of see what you want to see in the moment, and then afterwards you're like, oh my gosh, what went wrong? It's like you were looking at the wrong thing the whole time. Is Donald Trump really getting booed out of anywhere? Is he showing up in places where people aren't swarming to get a glimpse of Donald Trump?
I can guarantee you that if that existed, we would be shown it non-stop.
Yeah. Well,
so no.
I don't know that it's the case. We're going to talk about a J.D. Vance visit to a Promontis. Is that what, am I saying that right? I don't have it in front of me. It's a very famous, like an iconic sandwich shop in Pennsylvania, so much so that when my husband and I went to the Pittsburgh Cardinals game this summer, and I tweeted out, like, what do we eat? Like, we were only at the stadium, and we were only there for like a half a day. What do we eat? And everyone's like, Promontis. And they had some in the stadium. J.D. Vance made a visit to one of those locations, and it did not go according to plan. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Also, there's a new bop out there, a new social media bop, and we are going to have that for you also. Join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Today's is, who is the weirdest candidate that's running? J.D. Vance, the original candidate labeled weird by one Tim Walz. J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, or Tim Walz. You go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We are about at 300 votes, at 290 votes right now. You can tell us who you think and why. We'll get to the results at the end of the show. When we come back, what happened when J.D. Vance visited that Pennsylvania sandwich shop? Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I love doing endorsements for Andrea's Steak Sauce and Andrea's Restaurant. I got to tell you, though, when I'm there, though, I forget that I am doing those endorsements because the meal is just so good. Last weekend, my wife and I, for my birthday, we talked about, well, where do you want to go for your birthday? And that was pretty much the end of the conversation because we both pretty much knew what we were going to do. We were going to go to Andrea's, and we were going to order the same thing I have been ordering for decades at this point, which is the large filet mignon. It is so good. And I have eaten now at some really great steak restaurants in different parts of the country because I am a steak connoisseur. It's one of the reasons I love doing these ads. But nothing really compares to Andrea's. And the fact that it's right here in St. Louis, people, we're from here, we get used to it, but people from outside of this city, they actually will seek out Andrea's because they've heard of it. People who are on TV and sports stars and stuff, they'll make the drive into Illinois and go, oh, I've heard of Andrea. I want to go there. So you should go there for your next occasion for sure. And maybe the occasion is you want a great steak this weekend, whatever that is. Check them out at andreas.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
I'm John Oran, Puck's sports correspondent. I have a new podcast called The Varsity, where I will take you inside the executive suites and owners' boxes that run the entire sports business. Twice a week, I will bring on the smartest people I know to break down the hottest topics in sports media and give you a window into the inside conversations that are happening throughout sports media. So be sure to follow and listen to The Varsity Podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of our Missouri or Illinois attorneys. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Town and Country, Missouri, 63017. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, Get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Fall weather is on its way. Time to schedule your heating system check to make sure you heat your home safely. Schedule your heating system check today at aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 On Command. Just tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app and stay on top of everything happening anytime, even when you're not close to a radio. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
On the left to the magas on the right, they know I'm beating Kamala. This race won't even be tied. Her policies are nutso. She's out her goddamn mind. She just repeats the same thing, regurgitating her lines. She thinks that immigration without paperwork is good. Clearly not too much power underneath Kamala's hood. Borders are, it's what you are. Borders are, cackling Kamala, you're dumb. Mass inflation imminent if she weasels herself in. If that don't sound like fun to you, then you better help me win. I promise I'll secure you, you'll be in better hands. It'd be a flippin' free-for-all with what Kamala plans. Borders are, it's what you are. Borders are, laugh it up, Kamala. This lady, she's cackling crazy.
Wow.
These are things that Reagan didn't have to deal with.
These are things Trump didn't have to deal with in 2016.
But his team is doing it. This is part of, we've said this before. Barack Obama utilized YouTube before people used YouTube. Because in 2008, YouTube was hardly a thing. Barack Obama employed YouTube to help him win an election. Donald Trump in 2016 employed Facebook in order, not employed like legitimately, but deployed is what I should say. Deployed Facebook and utilized Facebook to target people to get them out to vote. Along with the Russians, but that's a different story. The FBI said that it didn't have any measurable effect on the outcome of the election with the Russians.
They can say it 1,000 times, but if you go to Portland, they don't care.
And then in 2020, the Democrats actively colluded with Twitter and Facebook and whatever else they own to stop things from being able to be discussed. The anti-extra free speech, the not like let's deploy a new medium to get our message across. They use the people who were there to keep you from being able to get a message across. I don't, am I wrong? I mean, memes and stuff like that, and they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Like, it's a huge consequence right now to make people who are normally old, stuffy politicians, super boring, they're all corrupt. Now, stuff like that happens, and when you hear how bizarre for the rest of time, you will also be thinking, borders are.
Yeah, well, it was done so well.
Yes.
This is really good.
I mean, that's actually sounds like somebody, maybe they did, maybe they cut up Trump's real audio and auto-tuned it. I don't know exactly how
well,
they
we
did
have
that.
a Snoop filter that we use from time to time, and it sounds just like that. So I don't know that it's hard to make them.
But to make it on pitch, I mean, that was really good. But
I have a theory that Trump is recording this stuff.
You know what?
I don't know that anyway. I think he has enough people advising him. Are like, this would be huge. You need to do this.
This used to be the territory of late night talk shows.
Yes.
This used to be what they did. They did this kind of stuff, and it was funny because they had the resources to do it and the writers to be able to do it and the producers. They've completely ceded that territory to the internet, and now something like this comes out, it is measurably effective at making people remember it, which is the point. And it's funny. It's just funny.
I agree. I love it. They make me chuckle. People, if something like that comes out, I get sent it by 15 different people. Like, have you seen this? And I'm like, usually I'll just let it sit aside because you can't always open your phone up and start playing that in mixed company. Although I guess you could. And then when I hear it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really well done. We heard in the last segment Zachary Levi, who is an actor, successful actor. Would you call him an A-list actor?
Yeah, I think so.
It depends on how you define A-list. I would say he's definitely up there.
Yeah, I don't really know how you would. But
the way I've always defined it.
He's in big movies.
Yeah. I mean, by the traditional definition, the way I think Hollywood refers to A-list is whether you are an actor who can walk into a movie studio and say, I want to make this movie. And the movie studio says, okay, we'll make it because you're that high up. But that's
more industry.
There's like
A-list.
5 people that can do that at any given time.
Yeah, I think that, and I don't have any scientific reason to think this. I feel like A-list movies, they're the people, or A-list actors and actresses are the people who get the leads in movies.
Yeah, that's
in movies that are actually marketed, maybe on a
big
global.
Movies.
Yeah. We were discussing whether or not we think that it's a big deal that he came out and to Dearborn, Michigan, and introduced. I think he was introducing Tulsi Gabbard and maybe J.D. Vance. Was that who he said?
Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy.
Okay, so they're on that tour to try to bring people's attention to the Trump-Vance campaign, and he showed up and he did it. And I think it's a really big deal that people that wouldn't traditionally. You talked a lot about how he's been very open and honest about his Christian faith, but not politics.
And that's why he's been encouraging, is that he has never backed down from saying, I am a Christian first of all things, and he will share the gospel and does it openly and willingly. But he has been very reluctant to take any sort of political stance on anything. In fact, he has said things at times that made you question whether he was conservative at all, because it's Hollywood. And that's, to me, that's why he had always done that. And so, again, like you playing that, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
So that shocked me that he was really willing to do that.
I think that when you combine the internet reaction, the social media, the viral reaction to these candidates, I am not served a lot of stuff that's glorifying Kamala Harris. Is it out there? Probably. But anything that I get that is pro-Harris is just anti-Trump in a really, really, really deep-seated, frustrated way. It's this guy is so bad that you have to vote for her. That's the kind of content that I get. Now, I'm not subscribing to a lot of people who are like fangirls and fanboys for the Harris-Walz campaign. So if it's out there, I'm not getting it. But it still seems to me that the overall mood about this election is not Trump. Mm-hmm. If you're looking to support, it's not Trump. But when people who are anti-Trump are looking at the alternative in Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, I feel like it's very disappointingly unsatisfactory, kind of like to your analogy before, that it's the Krispy Kreme with just the glaze and not the donut.
Yeah, donut-shaped glaze. Wow, that would be really sweet. That's something a kid might really want to eat. But once you get to the substance, there's nothing there. The funny thing to me is watching some of these same people, and I don't know if you and I follow the same people, but there's a lot of very sort of internet famous influencers for Kamala Harris. They were for Biden, now they're for Harris. They're probably paid influencers.
We know for a fact that there are like 5-figure payments that you can get.
Yeah, it can be lucrative. And if you have a lot of followers, there's a guy named Brooklyn Dad and a girl named Joe, and like they're internet famous, but outside of that, nobody knows who they are. These people, I'm fed a diet of those people, which means that the algorithms probably figured out that I'm conservative, and they're like, "You'll react to this,
but you'll participate."
Yeah, I'm no prude. I'm not really like you guys know I don't cuss a lot, but these people, they cuss so much. It is like F word, F word, F word, F word.
It's like the point
of the whole post over and over. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, look, I'll read through it a few times, but when it's the 4th time in one tweet of 230 characters, you're like, are you saying something here or not?
My question is, are you okay?
It's pure anger, and it's usually just, this is why the neo-Nazi orange man is gonna lead us off a cliff, and then F words like constantly. And like, I'm like, that's you're the paid influencers. This is what you're coming up with?
Well, not only them, but they're also like targeting famous Twitch streamers. Twitch is the streaming platform where gamers will stream themselves playing games and interact with their audience. But they'll target them, and like Annie was saying, 5-figure payments to do and promote Kamala Harris, and then they send them like hot sheets that say, okay, here's some do's and don'ts of what we want and what we're going to do. And then they make you, if you say yes, you sign an NDA. But several of these streamers have come out and kind of shown, hey,
they're like, I wouldn't sign the NDA.
I don't want to do this, and I'm not doing this, and here's what they're doing. And the one guy lost his mind. He's like, because the Secret Service is calling me, and they won't leave me alone. I don't want to have Kamala Harris on my show.
Yeah, I think I saw that one. You know, I've said this before, and I will say this again. I don't care if you're taking money from a candidate because you want to influence people to vote a specific way. I do 100% believe that you could be compensated for your time and effort and creativity to share a message, but I want to trust that you believe that message and you're not just taking the paycheck. You're not willing to say whatever you want to say just for the money. On every social media platform, there should 100% be an icon that goes on your profile. If you have taken money from a specific campaign that you have also commented on, then you have to have the, Trump T logo on your profile, or the Harris Walz whatever logo on there, or the Democrat logo or the GOP logo, so that people can know these people have been compensated for this. On the FCC regulates, like, I can't come onto the air and talk to you about a service that I've been provided or a product that I've used. If I've been given a product for free and I use it so that I can tell you how great it is, if they're like, we'll give it to you for free if you talk about us on the air, that is not allowed at all. Like, you cannot, that's called plugola. You cannot do it. And I don't understand why that shouldn't apply also to the FCC. It's not that, it maybe, let's say I was give me a product that I would be given to use and plug.
A curling iron.
A curling iron, which I have right here. Yeah. I have not been paid by, what is this, Babeless? If I was given a curling iron and I was told, here, use this on your live stream and then just spend a little bit of time talking about how great it is and we'll give you this curling iron for free, then they're using the publicly owned airwaves. You own the airwaves, which is why you can turn this radio station on for free. That would be me agreeing with a company to try to persuade you because I like something to go buy it. And what I get out of it is money maybe, or a free curling iron or whatever it might be. That is illegal. You can't do that. And if I did that, I would get smacked with a really big fine to make sure that I knew to never, ever do it again. Why do we not do that with candidates? People who are getting compensated to say things, or if you're being compensated, you might be getting compensated by the Joe, I'm just going to use a fake candidate because I don't want to put this on either candidate that's running. But if you were getting compensated by the Joe Smith campaign and your only goal was to talk like salacious trash on another candidate, and you're out there saying that, candidate Nancy Jones slept with another man and this, that, and the other thing, and you're making up all of this stuff about her, or maybe you're pulling out stuff that's actually real. Maybe it's real information. But then I also know at the same time that you're being paid by her opponent. I think we should be able to know that, specifically on social media. Don't you think that would change the way people consume social media, the way you follow people on social media, and it would have to make people who are influencers refine the way they present information a little bit? Yeah, it certainly would change things. I'd have to think through a little bit more of the implications, but the fact is, what you're referencing, we are on this is a private company, but the government still oversees aspects of the message for the integrity because
of the
airwaves, we're broadcasting on public airwaves.
Yeah, so that does exist. Right now, the way things are at the moment, I don't know if the people are just really bad at it or if that's what it takes to get paid by a campaign, but you can tell 95% of the time when somebody is paid by a campaign. But adding the icon would just make it clearer.
You can, and I can, but people who are used to following people who never talk about politics,
and then suddenly they
and then all of
do.
a sudden they've got a political opinion because they were given $30,000 to do it.
Yeah.
They should have to indicate that they have accepted money from a campaign. I think. I don't know why that. I don't think that's. I don't know. It's not complicated.
No,
to
I
me.
think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think, like you were saying, politicians should be able to talk about who has funded their campaign, so that whenever they're writing bills and laws and whatnot, we know maybe they might be influenced in supporting this law by some sort of lobbyist that has lobbied for them to support said law. I think that if we're able to see where the money's coming from, it can help us understand whether or not this is, like, you can look at it and say, okay, well, this is a good thing or this is a bad thing, and you can make an informed decision and not be
if you
led
donate
astray.
$40 to the Trump campaign to get a Trump hat, you're going to be on Open Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be able to see that you supported them. Why shouldn't we know if they're supporting you and then your message comes out? And like, to me, it's if you see someone positively supporting a candidate, that's one thing. But I would be very interested to see who is out there taking money from opponents to trash other people without having the obvious direct connection to another candidate to run that type of like Oppo research attack campaign.
It exists basically everywhere else other than social media right now. Because if you the examples you just gave, Brad, the airwaves, if you run a commercial, you have to say at the end who paid for the commercial. I mean, that's all. Really, social media is the only area where you don't have to do that.
When we have Stewie to come in to talk because the Fed raises the rates, he literally is the person who I personally talk to about when this goes on. I'll get on the phone with him or we'll text back and forth about what's going to happen. He is my literal go-to source for that. I have to say when he comes on the air that he's a sponsor of the show so that you know as a listener, he does pay to advertise on the show. And I have to make sure that you understand as a listener that I actually do trust Stewie. You have to trust me, to be honest, that I trust Stewie to have the right information that you need. And this is the thing that most people don't want to let happen. It's on you to make that decision as a listener to know that you can trust me. And it's my job to earn your respect, to respect your respect, and to constantly be working to keep it coming into the show. I think it'd be very interesting to see how many people. I think I would love to see how many people the Trump campaign has paid.
I would too, and not just it's the people who are obvious that I don't care about. It's the people who I follow, like a couple of just pop music sites. Every now and then they'll just plug something for Kamala, and I'm like,
oh,
what's that?
What's that about right there? Because this isn't your territory usually.
I don't even care that they're doing it. Like, just because someone is being compensated to use their platforms to share a message doesn't mean they're lying when they share it. But it is an important detail if somebody took a chunk of change and they're saying something. It just helps you make more educated decisions.
The influencers are, just one last point, very, very funny. Because 2 months ago, they were telling us convincingly, with lots of F words, how fantastic Joe Biden was.
Yeah.
He's in it for the long haul.
Including
4 more
Kamala.
years.
Sharpest I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
On this commercial break, I'm going to put up the picture of my son at homecoming and my little baby girl who said, Mommy, I want to wear a dress too. And it's adorable. So if you want to join us right now to see that photo, I'm going to put it up on the YouTube Live. But while you're there, I want to make sure that you go vote in today's YouTube Live chat poll. We need to know, who do you think is the weirdest candidate that is running? Vance, Trump, Harris, or Walz? Go tell us what you think. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I want to tell you about Civia Law and where you can go to really expeditiously get your will, your trust, your powers of attorney taken care of. When you call 833-995-WILL, that's 833-995-WILL, you will reach Civia Law, Sivia. And from the time that you sit down at your first initial strategy session, you will have completed documents from that initial sit-down appointment in 2 weeks. You could have this all taken care of in 2 weeks. And I'm here to tell you, Civia Law, they have a lot of offices that are conveniently located for you to make sure that there's nothing standing in the way. No roadblocks for you to get this done. It starts with a phone call, 833-995-WILL. Locations available in Edwardsville, Wentzville, East Alton, Swansea, and Mount Vernon. And they're a phone call away, 833-995-WILL. The website is civialaw.com. Go there and find out how you can get your will, your trust, your powers of attorney taken care of. And a reminder that this will help you avoid probate, which will cause you a loss of money, time, and certainly privacy. Go with my friends at Civia Law, SIVIA law.com.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired. Like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com. Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care. New Perspective Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today.
I haven't peeked at the results of this poll, and I'm really looking forward to hearing the results. Along with you, within a matter of 5 minutes or so, the YouTube live chat poll of the day: who's the weirdest candidate running? J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, or Tim Walz? Let's see how this turns out. You can still participate by going to YouTube and typing in Annie Fry. The Annie Fry page will come up, and you can vote there. 251. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Good afternoon and happy Monday. It's Mark Reardon. We are going to get going here after Fox News. The Cardinals are actually right now wrapping up a news conference on some changes within the organization. However, maybe not the changes that the fans are demanding right now. Scotty Warman from Bally Sports Midwest is going to join us right after 3 o'clock. We'll have all the latest. We get rolling in just a few minutes. Hang in there.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand
Walz is a buffoon. I'm sorry. This guy, he's the only school teacher in America who brags that none of his students can get into an Ivy League school.
I had 24 kids in my high school class, and none of them went to Yale.
He's had one consequential press interaction with our Dana Bash, who asked him about the fabrications in his own resume, and his answer was essentially, me no understand words good.
My wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar's not always correct, but again,
I mean, he's a buffoon. He's on a free ride for running under Harris. He gets very little press. They don't let him talk to the press for a reason. I want one thing out of this debate. I want J.D. Vance to go out there and get under his skin. He has legendary hot, short temper. A lot of governors do, but apparently he does. I want J.D. Vance to go out there and have him explain why he is denigrating J.D. Vance's story. Small-town America ends up making something better out of his life, which is something we should want for every kid.
So here you have Scott Jennings, Lonely Scott, on CNN, and I don't know who's the woman who's in the background there, but Scott Jennings calls Walz a buffoon multiple times, and they're going, Scott. They're literally calling Trump Hitler. And a threat to democracy. And they're like, buffoon, that's harsh.
It seems so mean.
Speaking of, the YouTube live chat poll, who's the weirdest candidate running? J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, or Tim Walz? You got like 2 minutes to get your vote in. Get the Anti-Fry YouTube channel. You'll see we're broadcasting live right now. And when you pull up the live broadcast of our video, you'll see in the live chat portion the poll that is right there. Your thoughts, Ryan. Who's the weirdest of the 4 candidates that are running?
It's Tim Walz.
You want to think about that?
No.
Did you deliberate throughout the course of the show?
I did. The obvious answer is Tim Walz.
Is that all you have to say?
Second place would be Donald Trump.
Yeah?
He's different. He's out there. He's like nothing we've ever seen before. But Tim Walz is still weirder.
Way weirder.
He's just weird.
Weird.
And it's so funny, like you said, that the conversations about who's weird started with Tim Walz.
Yes. He started it.
Yeah. Calling J.D. Vance weird, who he's going to debate tomorrow night. It's just, here's what, the situation is weird. Tim Walz is very weird. He's creepy. He's kind of strange. He does things that constantly make you kind of wince and go, you're running for like the highest office, right? It's okay. I don't mind that somebody's like letting the veneer down a little bit.
If he were out there more often, then some of the stuff might end up being lovably quirky. But right now we have is
just
quirky.
It's just
weird.
It's awkward. It's awkward to watch him do a lot of things.
Brad?
Yeah, it's Tim Walz, and it's because he strikes me as a theater kid playing a Midwesterner.
That's not really good.
He's not actually a Midwesterner. He's
Shots fired at theater kids.
The role.
They're all East Coasters.
Everything with him is just a little bit more than what it should be if it were natural. So he comes off the plane going to the game, and he's like waving before he steps out of the door. He's waving to people. And
I can't see you yet, Mr. Walz.
There's nobody in the tarmac to see him.
You know what he reminds me of?
The leg kicks.
This is predating all of us, but Richard Little, the comedian, used to do a impersonation of Richard Nixon, and he was real flamboyant about it. Like he'd always throw the peace signs in the air. Like that's what Tim Walz reminds me of, is Richard Little doing Richard Nixon.
So okay, are we going to 57?
Yeah.
False start.
Okay.
5 yards on the play. 60 seconds on the play. Erica says, although he's been accused of being the weird one, J.D. Vance is without a doubt the most normal of these 4. I like Trump, but he's a weird cat, though not as weird as Kamala or Tim. Jackie says, my vote is for Timmy, definitely an odd one. Rick says, Tim Walz, isn't he the one who coined the phrase as it relates to his opponents, takes one and no one? Jackie says this was one of the easiest decisions, Walz hands down. Chris says poll 100% Tim, and Greg said I think J.D. Vance is the least weird of them all. Isn't that kind of where we've landed on this? Not just that Tim Walz is obviously, to us at least, the weirdest, but that J.D. Vance is about as normal as one can be, especially considering the wild success that he's had in his lifetime.
Yeah.
He's very normal and relatable.
Yeah.
Who is the weirdest candidate running? 2% of 357 votes you guys put in today. 2% said Trump. We have a tie for second place, 17% apiece, J.D. Vance and Kamala Harris. And Tim Walz takes it home, 65% weird.
It's an overwhelming majority.
I would say it's an overwhelming majority. And I would have to cast my vote as well for Tim Walz as the weirdest person who is running. Hey, it's debate day tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. Keep it right here on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk, because Mr. Mark Reardon is next.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I would love to shout from the mountaintops the benefit of Lutheran education, and I want to encourage you to consider it for your child or for your grandchild. Help support and make Lutheran education a possibility for that child that you love. LESASTL.org/Annie. That's Lisa with an E. LisaSTL.org/Annie, and learn about how your child or grandchild can access an excellent education, faith-based, with a real-world application, IEPs and accommodations and resources, STEM education, extracurriculars, with 37 elementary schools in the St. Louis metro area. There is guaranteed to be one near you. You just got to start your research at LisaSTL.org/Annie. LESASTL.org/Annie. If you have any questions at all about Lutheran education, send me a private message on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page, and I'd be happy to have that conversation with you personally. LisaSTL.org/Annie.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyer